I'm distracted on the side, and she's messaging me, Phil, this is how you add it, blah, 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 and it didn't work. And so, like, just keep Devin talking. So Devin's just talking, and I'm mucking around with every control on my phone to try and get Amy in the mix, and I just gave up. I'm like, I can't do this. Back to the conversation. And Devin's great because he just keeps talking. I'm distracted on the side, and she's messaging me,
Oh,
this is how you add it, blah, 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 and it didn't work. And so, like, just keep Devin talking. So Devin's just talking, and I'm mucking around with every control on my phone to try and get Amy in the mix, and I just gave up. I'm like, I can't do this. Back to the conversation. And Devin's great because he just keeps talking. I'm distracted on the side.
Oh.
This is how you add it, blah, 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 and it didn't work. And so
Here we go.
So Devin's just talking. Sounds like it's working.
Here we go. I think we're on, but not the original one that I had scheduled. So I've just muted that. Beautiful. So there's no echo, everyone. This is fantastic. So not sure how many people are watching at the moment. 5 are watching now. So we will have a bit of a chat and a laugh while I'm going to send a message out to people. Go to because I scheduled a live, but then it was easy to go through Zoom. So go to the actual channel. We are live. Go to the actual channel. We are live. So yeah, 6 people watching there. If you are watching, say hello in the comments. I've started it off. Hopefully people slowly jump in, but if not, that is okay because then they can watch it a bit later on. There is nothing wrong with that at all. So yeah, beautiful. People are on. Hopefully more jump on as we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I will just bang in. I don't care if no one is watching because I have some amazing guests here. Welcome live from the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation channel. You're not seeing anything weird. The Aussie arm wrestler is here in collaboration with his favorite country in the whole world. And as always, closely to me is the most sought after trophy in arm wrestling. I'm the 3rd place amateur 2019 left arm 80 to 95 kilos amateur. That is the longest introduction for it. But everyone that is here, fantastic, because what we want to do is let every single person know what is happening in the world of Australian arm wrestling. As you can see, I've got some fantastic guests to start with. What will happen is I have my lovely map of Australia and we will be going around it. I will be drawing at the moment. As you can see, that's where the Aussie arm wrestler is. Don't worry about Google Maps. Just pop down to that spot. You can come visit me anytime. Now, if you were on the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation Instagram live, you would have recognized the gentleman with the 10-year-old gaming headphones on. He is the president of the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation. I will start referring that as the AAF because it is taking too damn long to say that as people are jumping in the chat, which is fantastic. Presidential Phil, welcome to the AAF live chat. Cheers to you. How are you, my man?
I haven't got a drink, so I feel I've come unprepared, but I'm excellent.
How did you
had a great time with Devin before.
How did you feel that that live interview went with Devin? I thought it was fantastic. I thought it went really well.
Yeah, look, we were mucking around with how do we start this. So we had the big announcement with the over the top down under. So we were working out how best to play this out. So we sent Devin the video right beforehand and said, Devin, watch this. And I think, let the cat out of the bag early and let's have that chat. So look, it played out. We wanted to make the announcement. Who better to get excited than the man who should be in the sequel, Devin Lorat.
Oh, absolutely. And we will touch on that announcement. But first of all, I have 2 very important people in the AAF to introduce. Now, I'm not sure how everyone is seeing it on the live stream, but one of these people in the chat is a woman. It's not about being PC. You can exactly tell and judge who the woman in this group is. She is not only such a great help to the AAF, but if you go back into the archives and while you're here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This poor woman is always reffing. She is always reffing. She is dealing with every single one of you. Everyone that complains at the table, you are most likely dealing with this lovely lady. She has even disqualified me on elbow fouls. That's right, the Aussie arm wrestler. How can you disqualify that? She's very important to the AAF, though. She's very exciting to be here. Celine, welcome to the stream.
Happy to be here, Jake. Nice to see you. Glad to have all my favourite boys here.
That is fantastic. Now, sir, if anyone actually knows who Celine's university lecture is, let's just keep this on the down low. She's just ducked out from a lecture to join this. Celine, can you please explain to everyone what your role in the AAF is?
So I'm the Victorian State Representative down in Victoria, down in Melbourne. So I help run all of our events down there. Yep, down where Aussie Armwrestlers pointing. So I help with all our events down there, running our social media, the Facebook and Instagram page that's just been launched as well. But aside from that, just trying to stay out of trouble at the infamous House of Pain, pretty much.
Now, the House of Pain is a fantastic arm wrestling club that the Aussie Arm Wrestler does attend, which is a nice segue. But if you look at this big brute of a human being who is sporting the most hottest shirt you can go, don't be mistaken, he's wearing an Aussie Arm Wrestler shirt. This guy is the founder of the House of Pain. He is also, if there is anything happening in the bottom of Australia, this man is also a head ref. I am dying to also do a one-on-one podcast with this absolute superstar. Welcome, the founder of the House of Pain Arm Wrestling Club, Andrew Lee. Welcome to the stream.
Thank you very much, Jake. A very good introduction.
Thank you. Now, the first thing I've got to ask, and you're really annoying new people. I don't like to start off with a negative, but I'm coming in hot. I'm excited. Because if you start going into our Silverbacks Silverbacks, we like to be called Silverbacks, as Celine is wearing the shirt. Don't forget to pop that, looking good. It's the same thing. We also have another Andrew Lee on Facebook who will be joining the stream a bit later. Can you tell everyone how to pronounce your last name?
Me, Lee.
I told everyone. I'm sick of people coming in and go, I spoke to that Andrew Lee and he messaged me. I said, it's Andrew Lee. It's just spelt different. Calm down, everyone. But I'll start with you, Andrew. So this is why we're here. This is why we are in the bottom of Australia at the moment. I'll get back to you, Phil, about this big announcement, but I really want people. So if it wasn't for Andrew Lee, there probably wouldn't be an Aussie arm wrestler. I emailed, because that's how long ago it was. I emailed Andrew a while ago about arm wrestling, and he has been more than open arms to getting people to the club. Andrew, give us a spiel about the House of Pain in Melbourne.
We started with Phil when Phil was in Melbourne, probably 8 years ago. And it was just two of us that used to come and arm wrestle on the top of my factory at times on a rubbish bin. And then from there, we've just added tables and people have come. And it probably took us 3 or 4 years to get every night. We'd be at the same Wednesday night, 7:30, and people would just turn up. So it got to the stage before of lockdown where we ended up with about 50 people every Wednesday night, as you're aware. So we're just in the process of trying to build that up, but everyone's welcome. We've got levels from people starting out to the most experienced national champions there. So it's a club for everyone.
It's absolutely. And we will get back to the House of Pain because I've got so many fun stories about the House of Pain. But you all watched the live stream. Everyone in the comments, I need you to tell me what you thought about the announcement. The presidential Phil just came out and went bang. Absolutely nailed it. So for those that don't know, we'll do a quick recap. This announcement was great, Phil, but it bothers me quite a lot. And let me tell you why. So the announcement was November up in the Gold Coast. I got to write it on my map. Up in the Gold Coast. Up there. Roughly. It might be a few kilometers. We are having a replica tournament of the greatest movie of all time, Over the Top. there is a huge cash prize in the open category of 10,000 Australian dollars. 10,000 Australian dollars. It's going to be huge. We're going to hope to get many people coming over. Phil, can you give us a recap how this came about, why it's come about, and what the goal of this amazing tournament is? And then I'll tell you why it annoys me.
I love that you clarified Australian dollars there. I mean, 10,000 rupees doesn't have the same, sings the same tune, does it? So this is our big announcement. So we really wanted to, to start at your last question, it's just to get people excited again. I mean, people have been incredibly, there's nothing happening. Everything's been put into hibernation. We canceled Arnold's last year, which was going to be our biggest Arnold's ever. And from that point on, everything else was cancelled in the calendar. So we needed something big to come back with. And it came from Tom. This is Tom's idea. Tom came to me and said, I've got an idea. Let's run an over the top tournament. But we want to make it thematically consistent with the movie. So the tables are designed as perspex, the same pads, the colors, the stage. But the coolest part is that it's an 80s attire event. So we really want to keep that theme running right through to how people dress for the occasion. So, I mean, Andrew Lee just has to walk in with a flannelette and a back to front cap and he's in.
You have just seen the first ever live Australian arm wrestling orgasm. This is amazing. And before I get Andrew and Celine's take on this magnificent announcement, what annoys me? I train at the House of Pain. Andrew, Celine, very welcoming, doing some great things there. And new people come in because they love the sport. They want to get in the sport. And the first thing I ask them is, have you seen Over the Top? 70% of them say no. They say no, and it gets me angry. And there's a popular arm wrestler out there named Jordan, the Reach Around Davis. And I'm calling you out, Jordan, because you haven't seen the movie. And that really bothers me. I love you, Jordan Davis. You are hilarious. But a lot of people have not seen the movie. You have no idea. There's the greatest movie in the world. It costs about $4 at JB Hi-Fi. It is there for the taking. The fact that this is happening is unbelievable. Now, Andrew, I want your take on what you think about this big announcement. But the first thing I need to ask, will you come out of retirement and pull in the open category?
Buckley's, absolute Buckley's. $10,000 though, I tell you, if we have it ranked and then we have it by weight classes, every puller will think they've got a chance. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
So then, when you first found out about we're having this replica thing, because you're a huge Over the Top fan, as myself, because we're adults. What was your first thought? Like just picturing walking on the actual Over the Top set. What was your first thought?
No, I think Tom's come up with an awesome idea to get everyone excited. And we've never had a prize like that in arm wrestling. We've been working over the years to get towards that, but $10,000 is a huge incentive. I don't have to worry about dressing up. I've got the 80s covered, but a lot of the guys haven't seen Over the Top because it was 35 years ago, and our demographic is getting a bit younger. A lot of them weren't born.
We need to have. I'm going to bring a DVD, and we're going every arm wrestling club. We need to have a togetherness where we all get together and watch Over the Top. Celine. Oh my! This is going to really paint. I can't believe it. Have you seen Over the Top?
I have seen Over the Top. It was one of the first few movies that Andy and I watched together back in the day. So before I even started training arm wrestling, it was kind of my initiation for starting dating an arm wrestler. He wouldn't let me not watch it. So that and pulling John.
Beautiful. Now you are dating one of the up-and-comers, Andrew Lee, who will get on the stream just a bit later on. But why? One, because you're doing so much great work for the AAF. Two, you volunteer all your time. Three, you are the first person to greet any new person at a club, including my wife, who Phil forced to pull at Arnold's in 2019, which is a hilarious story for another time. But what I need to hear, because Andrew and Phil and I and anyone else, we can we can make assumptions and observations, but as a female trying to get into this sport and trying to help build this sport, what does it feel like? So perfect example, we turned up to Arnold's and it was chockers. Andrew organized 20, 30 super matches. We had the top 8 of Oceania in like 3 or 4 different divisions. And then when it came to your division, Celine, there was 3 and one was my wife. So how does that feel? Someone that gives up all their time, pours their heart and soul into the sport. How does that feel when you're not getting the reward?
I mean, I wouldn't say that we're not getting the reward, and especially from when I started, we've had so many girls join up and continue on, and we've got so many strong girls in Australia at the moment, and in Victoria as well. I might be biased, and I think we've come a really long way from when I started. And I don't know if you know this, but my first comp, I was in the exact same position as Jess, where Andrew in the corner there forced me to compete because there weren't enough girls in the competition. So it was my first comp I'd ever been to. I'd never arm wrestled on a proper arm wrestling table before. I'd never trained or anything. And I think it may have even been my first time meeting Andrew. And he points me out and he's like, "You get on the table, you're signing up now." So I had no choice in the matter. I had no say. And I was up against Kaylee from South Australia and Natalie here in Victoria, 2 very strong women. And I was terrified. I was mortified about jumping up on stage with them all. But I think with how welcoming everyone is and just the community feel with it, I already feel so lucky just to be in this sport. And I feel like I wouldn't say we're missing out or anything. We've had so many strong girls that have joined over the last few years. And I know that it takes a little bit longer for girls to warm up to the scene, but I kind of love that. I love that we don't sugarcoat anything, we don't bubble wrap anything. It's all as it is. But yeah, I think we're slowly getting there. We're going to try this year to extend more of an opening arm to some more ladies, especially in Victoria. I think we're going to try and get some more girls joining, but I wouldn't say that we're missing out on anything. I think we're doing all right.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'm glad you were seeing it that way because I do feel bad. We're all at the House of Pain, 20, 30 guys turn up, and then there's young Yvonne, who's fantastic. Vicky, an Australian champion, she turns up, and there's just not that many. Not that you don't miss out on training table, don't get me wrong. But what do you think the main catalyst is? What's the one thing that we can get more females into the sport? Because I would absolutely love to just see you turn up to nationals and there's 15, 16 girls in your weight class. What will it take? Yes, forget time. What do you think it'll take?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think something that was really popular that we did a few years ago is having just like a ladies' night. So we extended just having girls only at a night at the House of Pain, which is really good. I think we had just under 10 girls show up. They were most of my friends that I dragged along and forced to come. But I think if we, like maybe once a month, twice a month, had just like a designated girls' night, so it was maybe a little bit less intimidating for some girls that are maybe eager to give it a go, but not so eager about being in a crowded room with 30 sweaty men. Maybe that's not it's my cup of tea. That's my ideal Wednesday night. It's not everyone's cup of tea. So I think maybe having some designated girl space would help to get some newbies in, I think.
Now, an inside joke, would it take air conditioning to get more girls to come to the House of Pain? So
I wouldn't even think about it because I know it's not going to happen.
And the 3 of them laugh. You come to the House of Pain and Andrew refuses to put on the air conditioning, which I think is fantastic. Look, I don't even think he has air conditioning. But Presidential Phil, you're seeing it. You're aiming global. You just spoke to the number 1 superstar in the world. Coming in home base, what this live stream is about. What do you think it'll take? So we have 20, 30 females in Australia competing, because we've got 2 or 3. And if you're in the comments, let me know how many females are pulling at your club. But Phil, what will it take? What will it take to build this up?
Yeah, look, it's a tough sell. Andrew will attest to this. We've done this for a decade. It is a really tough sell. But you know what? Yeah. The biggest ever women's class we've had, it was in Tasmania. And Andrew, you'll remember this, was at that that venue where we almost didn't leave with our lives after Jesse Johnson caused fireworks, but
Republica
there
Bar.
was a full class of ladies there. Republica Bar. There must have been 10, 11 girls, and there were some fit girls that jumped into the mix and won, and they loved it. But we never heard from them ever again. And so Tasmania did have a good base for that, but I can't remember what attracted that night. I think maybe that it was just in a pub venue, and that the call out was that there's a ladies class and anyone can jump in. Fitness expos, you would think with the amount of people at a fitness expo and the sort of 50-50 split of men and women, that we'd have a good chance. But we get a lot of people drop by and have a go, and they'll jump on the table, but it's getting them in, it's getting them to stay there and to maybe jump to a club and take it to the next level. That's what we have struggled with. So the answer I think is someone, and Celine, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but you need someone who's like a Sarah Bachman, somebody who has killed it on the world stage. They're not the biggest, girl in the room, but they're capable of taking out not only everyone in their class, but the guys as well. I think that was always going to be my plan at an Arnold's. Bring Sarah Bachman, put her there on stage, watch her destroy the majority of men and take egos left, right, and center. That will get the attention, because it will be, well, I don't need to be big and muscular to do well at the sport. That, I think, is the problem we have, is the perception around arm wrestling.
It's a real catch-22, because I remember 2019 Arnold's, and we had the other tables there, and people go past. So you need to show them that you don't need to be a big muscular person to pin people. But at a fitness expo, it breaks their egos. I'd only been in the sport 3 months and was able to hold, probably not pin, but I was able to hold, people that are deadlifting 200 kilos. So, yeah, it's a real catch-22. It's great for our sport to say, hey, you don't need to be a jacked up genetic Andrew Lee. You can be small and petite, but yeah, it does bruise a lot of egos. Now, Andrew takes a very different approach, I would believe, to how we would try and get people at the sport. Andrew just yells and demands and commands, and sometimes it works. And we've got Celine, which is fantastic. But Andrew, you are there every single week. People are coming in and out of the House of Pain Arm Wrestling Club. Why aren't we? So we get a few that come regularly, but why can't we, one, attract more females into the club, and two, keep them?
It's the same for males. I think the attrition rate is very high for us. We would have, I would say, one.
Oh.
So I think the number is probably attrition rate. We don't keep many people. You've seen it over the years. We don't even want to know your name at the first session, because so many guys just don't come back. They're one session only. We say it. We just call you a friend for your first session, because most guys don't come back. It's the alpha male kind of thing. But the core people like Celine, Vic, Goosey, those three are always coming back. It's like the guys. There's a core group of guys that come every week. There's people that roll around, and then there's people that we see, every 3 to 6 months. They'll drop in for a session or two and then disappear again. We've had guys training at the club that have been there 3 or 4 years and never competed. It's a funny sport to actually get people to commit to.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely, it's out there. It's different. And we understand it's an underground sport, but everyone that is in the chat and everyone that will watch this later on, I just beg you, just go and tell one person. Just go and tell one person about each club, because it is growing, and you do not want to miss out on this absolute train. Arm wrestling is going to become such a popular sport, and when people realize that some people can just turn up and actually be quite good at it straight away, they are really missing out. So, Andrew, just quickly tell everyone, Celine, I'm not sure if you can see the YouTube comments. If someone can put some details about the House of Pain in the comments for everyone to follow the Instagram and things like that. Andrew, can you just actually tell everyone where and when the House of Pain train and go along?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest successes is our club, that over the years, 8 or 9 years, every Wednesday night, 7:30, 32 to 40, Arkwright Drive, Dandenong South, The only time we ever close is Christmas or a pandemic. Christmas or a pandemic. Open every other night. Everyone welcome.
They are there Boxing Day. That's for sure. They really do. They train all the time, not just pumping it up because I train there, but it is just unbelievable. Celine, what are the things happening? You mentioned that you're all about the social media and helping us out. First of all, let's just go bang. What is happening on the social media side of things with the Silverbacks House of Pain and anything else that's going on?
Well, we've still got the Facebook page, which is the Victorian Arm Wrestling Association. That page is still up and running, but we've added in an Instagram account that's just at Victorian Arm Wrestling. Really straightforward. So we're going to try and get some more footage of the Vic boys and girls up there. Because we've got so many amazing people at that club, so many people that have been training, since the beginning for the last, 5 years, 8 years, however long it's been running now. It's been a while. And I'd love to highlight some of those people a little bit more on those channels and get some faces to names and things like that, and just build some excitement around it, especially while there aren't as many comps running. But we're also planning a comp for later in the year in Victoria. We are planning on having a state comp later on around about August. I think we're thinking July, August-ish.
That's not long. That's not long.
No, it's not around that time-ish. We're still trying to scout places to have it and the logistics of it all. But fingers crossed we'll have something for you, Victoria, soon.
Magnificent. Andrew Lee and Henry Mullock, get in the waiting room now. I want to bring you on the live stream in just a minute. Presidential Phil, sitting there, nice and calm. You're very one of the most calm, cool, collective people in arm wrestling, and you have the trophy of the Aussie Arm Wrestlers' most handsome man in arm wrestling. Phil is actually not allowed to make eye contact with my wife. He's got that award. But Phil, how confident are you with this over-the-top thing? And every time I mention over-the-top, my mouth waters. But how confident are you that this will skyrocket Australian arm wrestling even bigger than what it is? I believe we're a huge untapped resource.
Look, we haven't had a big, like Devin said. I think Devin had a really good point at the start. What was the last big event that anyone remembers? Like, big where everyone on the globe got excited and could attend. It's been a long time. And we used to have these great events, and I've been trawling through some of the archive footage on FitX and Arnold's, and we put some great events on over the years, and the energy at those events is brilliant. The people, the energy, the experiences you have, we've all felt it, and we wanted to do that again. So with Arnold's not happening, well, at least not that I know of this year, the best chance we've got is to do a big competition. It falls around the Nationals time. So this is really sort of our way of saying we're closing out the year with something really big to kind of say, we've done the COVID thing. We're going to finish with a bang, and pick somewhere sunny. Pick somewhere sunny, pick something iconic. Over the top is just, it's a cool idea and it's fun. And I think what people want to see is fun. And the money thing, that was to grab the attention of everyone. The pullers, everyone will train just that extra, level to win that. So you're going to see people come in at their best ever. You're going to see the New Zealand guys and girls come over to have a crack at this as well. Our friends in Singapore, there's a lot of corridors of travel that will be open that will very likely not have quarantine. And that's where we're sort of initially thinking we're going to have in attendance. If we can get Dubai and other places like that, we're welcome to it. Devin's obviously getting excited to bring over whoever he can. And I'm like, you know what? Bring everyone. It's great for us. It's great for our image, and the world will watch Australia and see the great events we've been hosting and continue to host.
It's going to be nuts. It is going to be nuts. And if all this comes and somehow this whole COVID thing just disappears and people can travel around the world, wow, we're going to have 500-600 competitors. Now, before I bring in more people and say goodbye to you, I'm going to go round the room. I'll start with Presidential Phil. First of all, who would be your number one Australian to win the event? And second, we'll go Southeast Asia. So if you're Singapore's, Indonesia, New Zealand, Oceania, Southeast Asia, who are your two picks that would win over the top? And
really,
you can't pick
such
the
a
Aussie
loaded
arm
question.
wrestler.
Everyone coming in at their absolute best. I have to say, I mean, right-handed, Lachlan's looking good. Milkman and Lachlan would be my probably two. Mario, Blue, the Dark, those guys could do some real damage and go the full length of the field as well, depending on the draw. And remembering, if we have as many people as we think, the amount of matches you need to win to get to the finals will be considerable. So you need to win maybe 8, maybe 10 matches to get to the finals. That's a lot of mileage on your arm. So you're not going to want to get stuck into a brawl early on. So it's very draw dependent. It's going to favor the fast pinners. So someone like Blue and Ryan Scott, who have got very quick pins, that's what you need in a double elimination format. So that's my Australian picks. I would say Lachlan just on pure strength, Brian Scott because his style matches this type of tournament perfectly. Yeah. New Zealand, obviously big Mate. It's hard to go past. If Mate comes in, he's benching a stupid amount of weight right now. He's going to come in bigger and stronger than ever. Always in the finals.
I think it's against the law how much he is benching. Mateo is just looks bigger and bigger every time he posts something. Shout out to Mateo from New Zealand, absolutely doing some big things. So if we recap, Phil's picked everyone in Australia to win.
See how diplomatic I was there with that, Jake.
You that is why you're the president. So I'm going to get some honest answers. I'm going to go to the First Lady of Arm Wrestling, Celine. Celine, who is your pick? Number one, from Australia. Can't pick your boyfriend. Probably wouldn't anyway because you're like that. And number two, from Southeast Asia.
I mean, Phil has already named everyone, so I feel like my answer's not going to vary too much. I do have to go with Ryan Scott, though. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen anyone compete properly, and he's not as vocal about his training as some other very strong boys are. But I would still be putting my money on the Milkman, Australia's number one, Ryan Scott.
Officially he still is, which is good, but I know there's a few people gunning for him.
Oh, there absolutely would be. I think it'll be an amazing comp, and especially after having such a long hiatus, and to see who's really been, putting the effort in during lockdown and during the pandemic to make those big leaps and bounds and progressions. It's going to be huge. I'm really excited to see that. And I'm going to have to say the same as Phil for Southeast Asia. Big Matter from New Zealand. I can't really see anyone getting past him, if I'm honest. So it'll be a big comp, though.
Big man, a big man. He probably, and in all due respect, probably weighs more than all of us collectively. Like, he'd be very close. Now, Andrew, before I get your picks, because I didn't realize I was going to have fence sitters on the show. A great story from Andrew is we were at Arnold's and I was fanboying it up with Devon. Oh, hi, Devon. Can I get a photo? Love what you do. And during the photo, Andrew actually yelled at Devon to help move tables and set up. Andrew is a straight shooter. Wearing the best shirt in arm wrestling at the moment. That's probably one of my favorite stories of Andrew. Just like, it doesn't matter if, like Celine was saying, very new to the sport, 5 foot, 45 kilos, timid at the time, or you are the number one arm wrestler at the world. If you are in Andrew Lee's gun, you are getting found out. So Andrew, please give me some straight answers. I think these two have got splinters from sitting on the fence. Give me some straight answers.
Number one, Ryan Scott. Number two, Ben Carroll.
Beautiful. Oh, everyone in the chat, it is going great. Let me know who your pick is. Guys, I've had you guys on now for about half an hour, 40 minutes. We'll start rolling and get new guests. Honestly, guys, first of all, to Phil, thank you so much for even entrusting me to host the live stream and getting me involved with the AAF. I really appreciate it. Andrew, basically without you, there wouldn't really be an Aussie arm wrestler. You have embraced everything that I've done since turning up from day one, and you are very welcoming. What most people don't know is these guys volunteer their times. Andrew Lee runs the House of Pain in Melbourne, Victoria, Dandenong, and we'll put all the links to all the social medias and things like that. But Andrew doesn't ask for any money All he asks is you turn up. You turn up with a good attitude, ready to pull, ready to learn. And for that, my big personality, I thank you as much as I can. I always make sure I shake your hand before and after training. Andrew,
Always
thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it.
And you get bonus points for that shirt. Just head over to the Aussie Arm Wrestler at Instagram if you want to get that shirt. I don't mean to plug my own show, but the Aussie Arm Wrestler doing fun things on his channel, but we'll put that in the comments later. Let's not bring that up. And Celine, always have a soft spot for you. The way you treated my wife without even knowing she was my wife to start off with. She was just a young girl watching at Arnold's and then came home and you realized that we were together. People don't understand. Celine's training suffers because she's too busy trying to make sure everyone else is having a good time and enjoying themselves in the sport. So, Celine, I've always told you how much we appreciate and even not only help organising and helping Phil and Andrew out, but then you spend the day reffing. I'm sure you would love to just watch and enjoy the action and have a nice wine in the back, but you're always there at the table helping out. And for that, the Aussie Arm Wrestler thinks you're fantastic.
I love my reffing. I will take any excuse to yell at all the big boys on the table. I will take that any day. And it's front row seats as well, so I can't complain. I do love my reffing, but...
let's just go easy on the elbow fouls on the Arm Wrestler. Let's just, I don't know. I don't want to cheat or play favorites, but let's do it. Let's see how that works for the arm wrestling. So whenever you guys want to leave the chat, that is fine. I am going to try and include 2 more from Victoria. Let's see if I can get them on. I've tried to admit 2 more, but if you guys need to go, I really appreciate everything you have done. Thank you so much, Andrew Lee.
Mate, awesome work, Jake. I love that we got this working last minute.
Jake, it was nice chatting with you.
No, thank you both so much.
Take care of my darling boy there.
I will. Henry and Andrew, get on the live chat now. Fix your audio, fix your video. Let's get this sorted. Don't be one of those amateurs. You have had plenty of time. There's one of them. This is fantastic. And there is another one. We are staying in the state of Victoria, ladies and gentlemen. Why I have got these 2 on, because these 2 are on opposite ends of the scale when it comes to experience. Let's see how it looks on the live stream. They are jumping on. So to the other side of me, you have someone that is like 7'14". He is a big, massive man with the most Australian last name. He is a giant, but he is a fantastic puller. He is very new to the sport. I suggest the Australian arm wrestling look out for this man and the world stage. This man has a fire in his eyes that is exciting. Henry Mullet, welcome to the live stream.
Thanks, Jake. Really good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Very excited to have you on. And then below me is one of the stalemates. And how I know that, the Aussie Arm Wrestler turned up to a WAL Oceania qualifier and then didn't come back for about 2-3 years because I had to finish footy. But this man was pulling and still pinning people then. He has been in the sport for quite a long time. Everyone knows him as Celine's boyfriend, but he actually has a real name. It is Andrew Bob Sukovsky, Diminovsky, Sutopoulos, but he's just shortened it for us. Andy, my man, Concrete Hands, welcome to the live stream.
Thanks for having me, Jake. It's good to be here.
Beautiful. Now, I quickly got you guys and we'll roll through and getting, let me just play around, getting more and more people. It's good to see heaps of people. I've seen Pound for Pound in the chat, Jordan the Reacher, I've seen Tim Graham. I'm seeing so many fantastic people in the chat. Now, you guys train at the House of Pain. Now, we got the diplomatic stuff out the way with the people on the committee. Tell me what you guys think of the training at the House of Pain at this stage.
At this stage, it's still unmatched.
Unmatched? Describe how it's unmatched. Why is it unmatched?
Best club in Australia, hands down. No, but in all seriousness, we've taken a bit of a toll with the lockdowns that happened last year. So, we didn't arm wrestle for 6-7 months, something like that. But as soon as that was over, it was as if we had just, it was like we hadn't seen each other for a day. We were so happy. Everyone was back together. it was like no time had passed at all, and we were back training harder than ever. The culture there is great. It's run by Andrew Lee, who was just on, and he's done so many good things for the sport. And yeah, I really wouldn't want to train anywhere else. It's just such a good atmosphere there.
Absolutely. And for those that are jumping in the live stream and aren't really sure who Andy is, he calls himself Andy Lee as well, but with a double E because he's that strong. He was ranked in Ryan Bowen's top 10 in Australian arm wrestling and then had a super match with Ryan mid-December. Now, what I want to explain to everyone, you have no idea the potential that Andy has, and it's exciting that I get to see firsthand. Now, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, he took this super match 3 weeks prior. My time frame could be a little bit off. But when you are going against arguably one of the world's best, and that's where everyone knows that's where I put Blue, as one of the world's best, not only Australia's best, but one of the world's best, and you give yourself only 3 weeks, the result was inevitable. So what I quickly want to have a chat, and I don't like to bring up people's losses, but people just need a real insight how nothing taken away from Blue. Blue was the better man on the day. He was strong. He looked good. But it would be just a little bit different, I believe, if Andy had a good 4 or 5 months to train for that match. So tell me about your thoughts. This was mid-December last year. Tell me about your thoughts of the whole match.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Blue by any means. He was the better man that day, and I was really happy to jump in that comp with him. But yeah, just a little bit of background, circumstantial information. He did call me up with 3 weeks notice, which wasn't really the big, issue for me. It was the fact that we hadn't arm wrestled pretty much that whole year from lockdown. So I was doing a lot of home gym training, but there was still deficits on the table, which since then I've been really closing. And to be honest, if the match was to go ahead again right now, I'd still say that he would win, but it would definitely be a lot closer just because I do feel a lot more table confident with, a few more months training, being back on the table and whatnot. And in the last 5 weeks, I've hired Coach Ray as my coach. So that's been a really exciting time for me. And I'm already seeing some large differences there. So I'm really excited to see where it takes me. And this year's going to be a big year.
Now, I just want to, for the record, so everyone knows, Blue just didn't ring Andy and say, let's have a super match in 3 weeks. Blue was scheduled to pull someone else, and because of all COVID and restrictions and things like that, they had to pull out at such a late time. So, yeah, it's not saying that Blue just calls people up and wants to pull them in a fortnight. No, this was someone pulled out. He was supposed to have a super match with someone else, and Andy just put his hand up and went, bang, I am on. I'm telling you now, if you are watching this live stream, do not even bother about what happened in that match. Keep your eye out for this man. This man is someone I've always been a fan of. Concrete hands will be doing some damage. Give him some time. How old are you, Andy?
24.
24! Too young. 24! Magnificent. That's what I mean. He has youth on his side, plenty of time on his side. So watch out for this. But there's someone else you have to watch out for. This guy is 7'14". This guy is a giant. He has turned up, somehow found his way into the sport, which we are very lucky for. Henry Mullet, first of all, tell everyone how tall you are.
6'4.5", roughly, pretty much. Anywhere between 6'4" and 5.
Oh, you got to get that half in there, don't you, cutie? Hey, you got to get that.
Depends if it's a morning or afternoon. Mate.
So, Henry, how did you find the sport of arm wrestling? You affiliate yourself with the House of Pain, but you also affiliate with other clubs because you do travel quite a bit. So how did you find yourself in the sport?
So originally I found myself in the sport because of just my natural ability for arm wrestling. I've always sort of been good at it as far as, the typical pubs and clubs go. And then I started looking into it more seriously as far as a sport. What was it? Early last year. And I found the club in South Australia and managed to make it there 2 times before I moved to Melbourne. So after that sort of inception with the South Australian club and actually pulling for the first time on a table and discovering that, I'm okay at the sport as far as a beginner goes. From there, it just sort of piqued my interest and really made me sort of keen to get better at it. Unfortunately, since then I moved to Melbourne, and then I managed to get one session in with the House of Pain, and COVID-19 hit, and all of a sudden for 8 months I'm doing nothing. But I found it basically through the South Australian club. So massive respect to that club. Great guys there, Tim, Matt, and everyone who's involved with that club, who are doing great things at the moment. But first off, there pulled a few guys on the table, really liked it, and sort of just evolved from there.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, you pulled at the state titles mid-December, which was unbelievable. Tell everyone how you went, because you shocked quite a few people.
Yeah, that was my first tournament. Haven't arm wrestled for quite a while prior, during obviously all the COVID stuff. So it was training a little bit before that, maybe 2 to 3 months, sort of just cables and stuff on a table with the help of Lachlan. And then, yeah, all of a sudden that competition popped up more or less out of nowhere, and sort of just said, let's go. Booked a ticket and went up there. And that was the first competition I've been a part of. Fortunately, it was more or less an amateur competition, so I wasn't having to face, the official beasts of Australia.
Well,
but I came fourth right arm and sixth on my left arm.
and that was out of a big class. Now, why I ducked my head, Henry, is because you said it was only just amateur. Henry, have you seen this trophy? Have you seen this trophy? This is.
I have, mate. I have. I've seen it on every one of your
arm wrestling, and it's amateur. So then, not just amateur. So
it was more, yeah.
What is happening in the future? What is happening in the future of arm wrestling for Henry? What is coming up?
For me, it's just going to be a bit more dedication. I've been in a bit of a spiral the last 3 or 4 months in Melbourne, moving from Melbourne to country Victoria, taking what I can in regards to training back in Melbourne here and there. And now I've kind of just moved into a house where I can settle down a bit more and actually get some training with some consistency. So moving forward, essentially from this date on, it's going to be very, very dedicated training. As you're aware, I'm sure, 2 weeks from now, actually no, next weekend in Queensland, there's a match coming up with the big Marcus Atiro, which I'm heavily looking forward to.
Look at that. Did you hear that, everyone? If you haven't known, there's a big super match happening at the Gold Coast Powerhouse Arm Wrestling Club, who we'll have later on in the stream. Big Henry is taking on the Pound for Pound sponsored athlete. Go to Pound for Pound while you're hanging around also, and check out Marcus Atiri is this big giant who turned up and he took first place just on both hands. Very dominant person. What is your strategy, Henry? How are you taking this on?
I'm not going to reveal too much, mate, but I've definitely taken a bit on with the help of Andrew, training down the House of Pain. Definitely trying some bit more speed is going to be a pretty obviously big thing, which obviously always is as well. But and technique. I've been in touch with a couple of people about trying to improve my technique. I think there's definitely some places where Matt's going to be stronger than me. I think there might be a few small places. Sorry, Marcus is stronger than me. There's probably a few nuances where I'm stronger, but I just need to put that together to try and put on a match, basically.
What's the outcome? Best of 5? What's the outcome?
Is it a best of 5, or is it 6 rounds?
I don't know. I'm just making it up. If it were a best of 5,
I'll be extremely happy if I can get a pin. Obviously, I would like to win, but I'm thinking 3-1. Unfortunately, towards Marcus, but if I can get a pin, I'll be very happy. So we'll see where that lands.
He's getting a pin. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, if you haven't been on Ryan's Pound for Pound channel and checked out Marcus Atiri, go check that out. But also, what do you think? Tell me in the comments, what do you think? Henry versus Marcus, what's the outcome? Let's go best of 5, because I'll get Gold Coast on later and they will tell me what is happening with that match. Now, Andy, you have been fortunate enough to pull with the mullet man, Henry. What do you feel would happen? Because you were there at the Queensland State Titles. You saw how Marcus pulls. He pulls in thongs. He's a big dude, strong dude. How do you honestly think, now that because you train a lot when Marcus comes down, you're the first to jump on the table with him. How do you think Henry will go?
Well, before I say how I think it's going to pan out, you have to consider a few things. One, Marcus is the more experienced person. He has been pulling for a bit longer than Henry. Henry's really, really new. And he's, the way that I look at Henry is, I look at him like a Khaled. He's got that much potential. It's crazy. His hand is monstrous. It's bigger than Marcus's. It may even be bigger than colours. It's huge. I can post a photo of my hand compared to his. It's a monstrous hand. I would say biggest in Australia. The potential is there for Henry, and there is some deficits which we are filling in. And I really think that this could go either way, but it's just a matter of Henry pretty much putting into action all the things that we are working on. If he can do that, he's definitely in the match. And if he's not in the match, 6 months later, he can return and try the same thing and be much, much stronger. He's still got those newbie gains, which are just continuing to go up. So don't put a cap on him. So,
Henry, put your hand up to the screen. Jesus. Well, I would hate to date the next woman that has dated you for a while with those big giant hands, but that's not what we're talking about arm wrestling here. So, Andy, you take on one of the world's best in Ryan in December. Doesn't go your way. You get Coach Ray. Do you have any matches lined up? What is happening in the future for Andy? Because as you know, I'm a big fan of concrete hands. Really love what you're doing, and the fact that you're only 24. What's happening next?
So there's not really a lot happening at the moment. I'm just 100% in training mode. I'm really pushing that, and I'm refraining from organising any further matches. In saying that, good friend bro Mario will potentially be down in Victoria soon, and we said that we may or may not have a friendly little super match there. But more importantly, we're going to get on the jimmies, and I know he's watching, so he can attest to that. But no, really, I'm just going to be training really hard for the most of the year, and you probably won't see me resurface until the over-the-top comp, which has just been announced.
Ooh, so let me know in the comments. Let's go Mario and Andy. Mario's a good guy. He's been on the podcast before. Mario and Andy, best of 5. Everyone in the comments, let me know how you think that will go. So regardless of travel, regardless of everything, is there an Australian arm wrestler, Andy, that you would just love? No, I'm not saying calling him out or anything like that, but you would just love to pull and go, bang, let's have a super match. You know, so on the Easter weekend, I'm ready to rock and roll. Is there someone that you just either haven't gripped up in a while or never gripped up with and go, bang, let's have a match?
Yeah. Adam Laura. I love that guy.
Adam Laura. There you go. So you want him. Let's make that match happen. I just wish, if you buy more T-shirts, everyone, and go subscribe to the Aussie Arm Wrestler channel, I can actually afford to put on these matches, kind of, but not really, but just go help me out. So, okay. So once you've all told me who wins out of Andy and Mario, let me know who you think is going to win out of Andy and Adam Laura. Wow. He's come to the House of Pain a few times. I've seen him, pull at Arnold's.
Super strong guy. Super strong guy.
So why him?
So every time we grip up and see each other, majority of the time it's been at a comp or he's come to the House of Pain. We always get along. We always have awesome sessions together. And in training, he's always had the edge on me in the past. And I've never beaten him in a comp before. I don't even know if I've actually competed against him.
Did you pull against him at Arnold's in 2019?
Actually, I think I may have pulled him at the WOW qualifiers in 2017. Yeah. I think that's the only time, unless I'm mistaken. But that was 4 years ago. I was just a 19 to 20-year-old then. And he's made some tremendous gains since then.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I can guarantee you that I'm going to feel like a very different arm wrestler the next time I face someone. So I'm pretty much learning how to be a new arm wrestler. So,
I'll tell you what, and before I give you a huge plug, Matt Connolly, Tim Graham, South Australia, get in the chat. I'll be with you in a few minutes. Make sure you're in the waiting room for me. Now, yeah, what is it? Once you finish from here, both of you put your Instagram handle in the comments, guys. Any guest that comes on, can we unify as a country and just all, if you're not already, all follow each other? So Andy does a lot of lifting in his videos, just stupid weight for someone of his size. He shouldn't be lifting. There's a wicked photo. I think you're holding Celine and Celine's best friend arm in arm like Andre the Giant, which is a cool photo. Andy is actually very entertaining on Facebook, and he wants it. He wants to pull anyone and everyone, so he's never afraid to back down for a contest. So make sure anyone that jumps on there, let's all follow each other on the social medias and things like that. So you've called out Adam Laura. If over the top in November, who would you love in the first round?
Oh, honestly, I'd love an international puller. I really hope borders are open. I've been wanting to explore the international scene for so long now. I would love anyone in the well middleweights. Just anyone.
What are you weighing in at the moment?
I'm pretty heavy for me. I'm 110 kilos or 240 something pounds.
Give us a double.
But the last time I competed, I was in the under 90 kilos, under 200 pounds, which is the well middleweight. So, yeah, I'm not sure what I'll do with my weight, but if it really came down to it, I would go back down to that middleweight. So, yeah, I'd love a young Chance or BLM from Canada. I'd love a young guy like me who's also, just climbing the ladder slowly, who's wanting to prove themselves. So I think it'd really help really pushing that younger generation and feeding us into that rightful place as an athlete at a world level. So anyone young, I don't care. Chance, BLM, those two would be awesome.
Yeah, beautiful. And don't forget, guys, Andy is a national champion. That was fantastic to watch. Just one, as a sports fan, and two, because of what you train so hard, and that weight cut looked disgusting. Now, I just want to bring up Henry because he hasn't moved in about 4 minutes, so people might think his screen is frozen. Henry, you pull Marcus, you get a pin on Marcus. What is the next step for Henry? What happens next?
Well, I guess it's all pending COVID, but obviously Marcus is going to be a great experience. Plan to learn a lot from that and really use that to develop in areas where I need to. With the announcement of that over top tournament down in November, it's going to be very, between now and then, there's going to be a huge amount of training. And I would love to get a state level tournament in between then, one or two, just to try and refine those ready goes. I think that's going to be really important. But I think I might shift the training towards just mainly, if I can get into any tournament, I can. And then also focus on that November tournament, over the top competition, to really try and bring what I can. There's about 10 months worth of training which can be done. And I think that I can probably get to a few different levels during that period.
So then once again, the same as Andy, if you enter over the top, which I'm absolutely frothing every time I say it, you enter over the top, who would you like in the first round?
This might be a little bit too much of an offence to a few, mate, but I'd be happy to get anyone. I don't really know the ins and outs of everybody who's top class, world class pullers. I'll be happy to have anybody. Obviously, I'm a heavier guy, so I'll try and stick to the guys who are on the heavier side just to try and make it a bit more fair. But I don't mind. I'm happy to pull anyone, and really just that experience is going to be worth it. Now, I can't single out any one person, mate, to be honest. Maybe, how about you? Who do you reckon you'd like to see me pull first?
My man that I'm actually going to get on a bit later, he's the fish and chips of arm wrestling, Gabriel Fish. I would love to see you two go head to head. He's doing some fantastic things up there in the Gold Coast. Now, he's just a ripper dude, a good puller, and will never shy away from the challenge. So,
that sounds good to me, mate. I'll take on Gabe.
He is making gains. Now, before I get the South Australian guys in to say goodbye to you, we have to do it for the record. Andy, we all know the answer, but have you seen Over the Top?
Of course.
Of course you have. Celine mentioned that before. And Henry, have you seen Over the Top?
Yes, I have.
Lucky. Lucky.
And I think I'll be watching it again this weekend.
Henry. Actually, tell everyone, Henry, how old you are.
I'm 29.
29. So both are young. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. But you got to support these two. I know everyone's against Victoria at the moment because we keep going in and out of lockdown. But these are, I mean, we've got so many untapped pullers in Victoria and Australia, but these are two I'm very, very excited about. I get excited when they both come to the House of Pain because they just have that fire and passion in their eyes. They both want it. They both want to be the best, and hopefully they don't get each other in the first round of Over the Top. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you stick around and jump in the chats and things like that. Wish you all the best and can't wait. Andy, I'll probably see you next Wednesday. And Henry, can't really say when I'll see you next. You know, but I can't really say when because that's a bit of a surprise. But hopefully I'll see you at the House of Pain real soon.
Very good. No worries, mate. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks,
Beautiful. You guys muck around. You're more than welcome to stay for a bit. I am trying to get Matt Connolly in. Now, Tim, Matt Connolly, turn your video on. Jump in the chat. Tim Graham, you said you are in the waiting room. Are you under the name Amanda? Let me know in the comments if that's your lovely wife's name or something like that. So let's see how we go. Now, Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling in the comments is claiming it's not Ryan Bowen. It could be Ethan Tunstall. Could be him. He's helping out with social things there. A very good puller from there. So, Tim Graham, let me know who you are in the chat. Let's see how we go. Now, if we jump in there, where have we got? So, beautiful. Matt Connolly has jumped on. So, let me just get on the map of Australia. The arm wrestler is traveling. And he's hanging around there, and he's hanging out. Let's, the SA tie. So there's just more. I've got a map here. It is just more to let everyone know how big our country is and how far the Aussie arm wrestler is traveling. Okay, so Tim Graham is Amanda. Let's just accept in. Guys, I've moved over to the left-hand side of the country. We've got Amanda jumping in, but the gentleman I've already got with me has just come out of, I wouldn't say just come out of nowhere, but he really wants to put South Australia on the map. He has come out and gone bang and really pushing anything and everything to do with South Australian arm wrestling. They have some fantastic pullers out that way, and I will let Matt talk about them in just a minute. But Matt Connolly, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, happy to be here. So, yeah, a lot of stuff. You've made me laugh about 15 times already. So, yeah, you're fantastic.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you. But this is through the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation channel, so you do not have to suck up to the Aussie arm wrestler. There, Matt, you can say I'm a bit of a dick. That's fine. No, what you are doing, what I want you to do quickly before I introduce Amanda, what I need you to do is tell me what is happening in South Australia.
Well, we've got a big tournament on Saturday. So Tim asked me if I wanted to sort of help run things a bit more with the club. And since then, I thought the first thing I want to do is run a tournament because we missed out last year. Everything got cancelled. So first thing I wanted to do was just run an inner club tournament, get everyone sort of working towards something. Then one of our members managed to sort of jump into this big sports festival that we've got on the 20th on Saturday. And he's like, oh, we've got kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and strongman and powerlifting, and we've managed to sneak arm wrestling in there as well. So we're going to run this tournament with this sports festival. It was like, okay, yeah, cool. So we went from literally just in our club room to potentially thousands of people coming past and seeing our tournament and stepping up and hopefully joining in and maybe having a go on the table. So it sort of forced us to get everything happening as quickly as possible. It's like, we need shirts, we need logos, we need a website, we need promo material. And it's like, it was putting a deadline on it, which was great for us because it made everything happen really quick.
Oh, you guys have absolutely come a bull out of the gates with this South Australian arm wrestling. I may or may not have heard a funny story. So if you just show everyone your shirt there, Matt, show everyone. They are the South Australian Titans, ladies and gentlemen. They have a fantastic logo there that's been designed. Matt Connolly is looking fantastic at the moment. But I may have been having a chat with one of your South Australian pullers, and I heard, now I don't want to speculate, but I do, that there were some absolute shocking names put forward for the South Australian club. Terrible names.
I think the electric shoes was one of them.
No! What's up? I didn't even hear. Oh, I've lost my texter. I didn't even hear that. Need a new texter. No way.
Yeah.
Shoes.
I've forgotten most of them because they were so ridiculous. We did have because I'm a big fan of the Punisher, the comic book character, and I've got the logo on a lot of my stuff and an arm wrestling table with the logo and that sort of thing. We were trying to figure out some sort of Punisher thing, and then it just became a little bit sort of sexual, and it was like, this isn't the way we wanted to go with it. So it was like, let's leave the Punisher behind. But we ended up with the Titans. So I wanted to have something where it was comic book style in a way. I've given everyone in the club a nickname, and I'm sort of looking at it from, with like MMA or WWF or something where you can identify with a person's character or personality, and you might remember their nickname as opposed to just, this is John and this is Paul, this is, Peter or whatever. It's like, this is the carpenter, this is, the Viking, this is the engineer, this is Dynamite. It's actually easier, I think, with the marketing side of thing, or when I'm putting a video together and cutting people's names into it. People are actually identifying these people by their nicknames, and you're getting comments, or some of the guys I work in a gym, some of the people that are coming through and go, oh, that Viking guy, I was watching the video. It's like they can easily remember the Viking or the engineer, as opposed to Tim or Matt, or that sort of thing. So that was one of the driving forces behind, let's get a name, let's get some nicknames, let's get some logos, some identity happening for the club.
It's going to be pretty bad now, because everyone's going to like, oh my God, how good is the Viking? And they're like, oh no, it's 2021, it's PC, it's Amanda now, it's Amanda. It's like, come on now. Now, speaking of the Viking, it's the other guest that I've got from South Australia. And shout out to everyone in South Australia. You are doing some fantastic things there. I've always got my eye on that. When you speak of South Australia, you always put this guy's name. One interesting thing, if you're going to watch something from South Australia, our guest here did a very interesting weight cut for Arnold's or Nationals. I can't remember, but Tim will confirm that for me. But it was very interesting. He documented every day about his weight cut and how much he was hating life because he had to drink gallons of water and then have nothing at all. But he's joined us. He is the Viking. His new nickname is the Viking. But he's very passionate on the table, and he will always give his time to have a chat with you. Tim Graham, welcome to the stream.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's a lovely introduction.
Oh, well, I try and do my best. But how do you feel now? Geez, they are actually looking quite impressive. Matt, give us a quick forearm. Let's see how we go.
There he is.
Yeah, you guys are looking pretty good there. So, Tim, how does it feel? Because it was synonymous. Tim Graham, South Australia, hand in hand. So, how does it feel when a guy like Matt just comes in and goes bang and wants to help out in any way possible in building what is turning out to be a fantastic brand?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually awesome. I've been running it for about 6 years now, and I love the sport and I love competing in it. Running and organizing it is not really my thing, but I've done it because there's a need to do it. So, and no one else is real keen, so I've pushed it. But Matt's real passionate, and he was sort of starting to take on some responsibility with the club himself without me asking. And I approached him about getting involved, and since then he has absolutely taken the ball by the horns and absolutely, torn it up. So I'm thrilled with it. I think he's doing a fantastic job. there's a huge amount of interest online and stuff coming because of it. So,
I was going to say there's a huge amount of interest online coming. You guys are absolutely copying it. It's called the Taran Titans from Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling. That's from Pound for Pound. What else have we got? Gabe has done the Dankiest Arm Wrestling Club.
Yeah.
Shelley does stuff in the comments. I said the Engineers is a cute name. Another good one. What do we got? Rich Gibb has said, and the fact is that we have 3 different pullers called Matt. So
yes.
No wonder. Thank you, Rich Gibb. Thank you. That's the only reason why we have nicknames at the South Australian Club.
Correct.
People walking in and saying, "G'day, Matt. How are you?" And you turned around and you're like, "Oh, you're not talking to me." Oh, everyone gets nicknames.
We actually had we ended up having 4
on live streams. So what is happening? So we've got the big event happening. What else is happening with the South Australian Titans? What is happening at the Arm Wrestling Club at the moment?
So we got approached by one of the people who are running, I think it's a jiu-jitsu tournament at the Apex event on Saturday. So they're going to be running another thing in a couple of weeks' time. So that they've asked us if we wanted to be involved in that. So to bring a couple of tables and do a bit of a demonstration through that as well. So it seems that, the more that we push our side of things, the more opportunities will eventuate. So putting everything out on social media and making videos and sharing stuff and having, T-shirts and logos and nicknames and funny moments and that sort of stuff really has brought a lot of attention. And from that, we're trying to capitalize and get members coming down to the club or new people that are just interested and, getting to step up and get on a table and have a go. So it's been working well.
How many guys, how many pullers do you have at your club at the moment?
I'd say there's around 30 that would generally sort of come in and out. And yeah, some strong guys. We'll be interested to see how it goes on Saturday. I've got my money on Taran Broad taking out some of the divisions there. And I think we've got a lot of interstate interest. So I'm not exactly sure who's turning up from interstate, but I think from the people that we have an idea, there'll be some strong guys coming down as well.
Those in the comments, if you are an interstate puller and you are coming to the South Australian competition on the weekend, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know all the interstate pullers that are making it through. Tim, so I was asking Celine a bit earlier and I saw a comment. It was either from one of you two guys that you have roughly around 3 to 6 female pullers and they come in and out. What's happening on that side of things?
Yeah, so we have 2 in particular at the Adelaide Club, which is Shelton Bird and Tina Aluni. So they've been both been in the sport probably Tina's probably about 3 years. Shelton's about 2. Both awesome, both at opposite ends of the the weight classes in women's, one light, one heavy. We've also got Kaylee Maldonado, which everyone in Australian arm wrestling knows. She's in the Riverland though, which is about 2 hours away. So we don't see her as much, but they train up there. And then we've got a couple of new ladies in the last sort of 6 months that have come, a few times. One of the guys' partners, she started, Carly, she started arm wrestling every couple of weeks as well. So yeah, we've got 3 solid in South Australia, and then there's probably 3 that sort of float in and out. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Not too
bad. 30 at the club, 3 to 6 women that are arm wrestling. So then, Matt, just quickly, if people from here that are around the South Australian Adelaide area, where are they finding, besides all the social medias, where are they finding the Titans?
We're every Sunday at the Kilburn Community Centre, which is 59 Gladstone Avenue in Kilburn. We're there every Sunday, 5:45 till 7:45. Usually we run a bit later because no one wants to leave and everyone wants to leave on a win. So
yeah, got to win training.
That's right.
That is magnificent. Now, Tim, you've been around the sport quite a long time. You've been fantastic. Everyone always says nice things about you. So who at the club is there anyone that is just catching your eye? So here in Victoria, as I mentioned, I brought Henry Mullett on the show. I mean, he catches everyone's eyes because he's 7'14". But is there anyone that has just turned up the training and gone, you know what? If you stick at it, I mean, we all know Taran. Taran's fantastic. Got to know Taran quite well in December. He's a fantastic dude. But is there anyone else that you sit there and go, you know what? They put in the effort. Bang, they're on.
Yeah, so he's been involved in the club for a year and a half, 2 years. That would be Matt Bisco. He's had a few personal things in the last 6 to 8 months, but that man, he has excellent genetics. He understands movement, like on a technical side of things. He moves very well. He's epically strong. He's about 76, 78 kilos. He floats around. I think, sorry, I'm way low. What is he, Matt? 80? 86, sorry?
Yeah,
86. Sorry,
he
I'm
yeah, he
way off
does
his weight.
fluctuate a lot.
My
I'd say
apologies.
mid 80s. I'd say.
Yeah, mid 80s. Sorry, but he is so strong. Like he legitimately gives me a match when we're at training. It's a war every time. He's way stronger than he should be. So aside from him, new guys, Leon, who you would have met up at the Queensland comp.
Yeah, he's a fun dude. Good, really good guy, Leon.
He is, yeah. So that was his first ever comp, and you know how some guys that training they're pretty good and they understand things. They get to a comp and their brain just craps itself. He's not that guy. He went there and he was able to keep his head level. He set up properly. You know, he just did what we teach him in training, and he did really well. So I think if he sticks at it and he's got the bug, he loves it.
Oh, he really does. So Taran, Leon, and I were all lucky enough to stay at Blue's house, and Leon, I reckon, asked 1,000 questions. No word of a lie.
He would do.
But the fun thing was, it wasn't annoying. He just wanted to know. He wanted to learn and was just cool. Next question. I need to know, because he's like, all right, here we go. And he was great. He was great on the table, took the tournament really well. He was fantastic. So it's good that he's still continuing at it. He was pretty cool. So then Matt, I mean, everyone knows the Tyrannosaurus is happening over there. Thank you. He's got a million nicknames. Really cool dude. Can anyone pin him in South Australia? Can anyone pin him?
Well, yeah. We've got another match. One of the three. Matt Vanocchi has been getting close. He does quite well in the hook. Generally, we usually have to wait till the end of training until Taran's tired and he's pulled 300 people beforehand. Then we might have a shot. I had a good super match with him a few months back, but. Yeah, he's very strong. He gets that hook, and I think his setup has gotten even better. He's been timing his training, so he's doing some 1 week on and then a rest week, and then doing a lot of work at home. He's always putting up videos of him, setting new records of some sort of new crazy movement he's invented. But the last training session he came to, which was probably 2 weeks ago, he just felt, mega. Like the wrist was a block of cement. You couldn't move whatsoever. And I think in one of my videos that I put up, I will be putting up, he just blew through everyone. And I think most of the matches were in half a second. It was literally go bang. And it was just, those moments where you feel like you're catching up to someone and you're doing well and you're improving and you're sort of getting there, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm sort of getting there. I might have a chance here. And then he just took it to another level where it was like, what was I thinking? I have no chance against this guy. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes, actually. I know he's doing the under 95s. I don't know if he'll do over 95s, but I think he'll do pretty well.
Is this event on the weekend? Will this event be live streamed at all? Because we all craving for competition. So for those like myself that can't get over there, will it be live streamed?
I'm pretty sure that Blue is going to set up a live stream for his channel, so we'll get something happening through that.
Beautiful. Now, are you both entering in the competition?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yep.
You both are. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still in the comments, let me know who you think will win. So what I've done is I have organised the draw of the South Australian arm wrestling tournament, and I have put Matt Connolly against Amanda, aka Tim Graham. They are both up. Let me know in the comments who is winning this one-off. Ready, bang. Don't worry about straps. Don't worry about straps. Let these two chalk up, not lube up. Let me know in the comments what you would think, but I'll start with you, Tim. What do you think the outcome would be? And while you're about to give your answer, the Gold Coast crew, Gold Coast Powerhouse, Gabe, Fatali, Abe, whoever's around, Ethan, jump in the waiting room now. We're going to get going in about 5 minutes. So, Tim, I'll put you up. Bang. You're with arguably your co-boss of South Australian Titans. What's happening?
Easy win. Easy win.
Oh, yeah, that's what we want.
Sorry, Matty. Sorry.
I think you're right. Tim is very technical and he's very quick off the ready go. It's hard to stop. We have great matches when it's like a slow pull, where there's no sort of setup with the referee. And I usually do pretty well with our training stuff. But when it comes to serious mode and Tim gets in that frame of mind where you see him pump himself up and the glasses are flying through the air and he's, really pumped up, he's better than I am at this point.
So Matt, how long have you been pulling for?
Just over 2 years, I think. My first ever go at it was at the Arnold's with Tom. I think it's Uglacy.
Tommy Glacier. Yep.
Yeah. So I was just there with a mate, and I had seen Pulling John. That was my only experience with arm wrestling, but I was interested in it. And then they had the table set up, and I was watching. And then Tom's like, "Hey, mate, come over and have a go." And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I'm like, I've never done this before. He's like, "That's right, mate. I'll show you what to do." And he was great. And it was like a really good experience. And then he's like, "Where are you from?" I said, "Adelaide." And then he pulled Tim over and said, "This guy's from Adelaide." And Tim immediately added me to Facebook and then sent me a message. "This is the details of where we train. And so when I got back to Adelaide, it was, jumped up from there. My second ever person I pulled was Devin Larrick.
Yeah.
Not a bad second match. I'll tell you what, guys, have you heard this love story between these two? This was Tinder before Tinder was cool. Unbelievable stuff. Now, before we wrap up, Tim, I've been on record and saying your 2019 Arnold's wasn't at your expectation.
Correct.
How does someone of your caliber, because you're a very top puller, how does someone from your caliber who works hard, super passionate, you scream and shout on the table, which I love. I love people that are passionate.
Thank you.
There's nothing wrong with that. But how does someone bounce back? You've put all your effort in. Devin's there. It's a huge event. And then it didn't go the way you wanted it to. No. How does someone of your caliber bounce back from that? What happens?
Oh, there's a bit of sulking for a couple of days afterwards, to be fair. It sucks, like the problem with 2019 Arnold's is I actually got injured training in the gym, like literally the week before. So 7 days before the comp, I was in the gym. I had a really high level wrist curl at the time. I was wrist curling like with a barbell, 110 kilos for 8 reps. And that was I was proud of it. Like it was really strong. And then in that set, rep 5, my right wrist made this weird noise and it didn't hurt. And the next day it was like excruciating. And then I spent the whole week leading up to Arnold's cutting and trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with my wrist. I went and saw a physio, all that sort of stuff. And it just wasn't right. And like mentally, that took a huge amount away because I was actually going there wanting to hook people. Like I felt really good leading up to that before I got injured. And so I was real disappointed with that, the injury, and that actually to this day still affects me a little bit. Like I've worked around it and let it heal, but that's still not 100% how it was. I can't really wrist curl much anymore for that sort of thing. But aside from that, like, yeah, there's a bit of sulking for a couple of days, and you just kind of got to get back into it and keep training. You know, like Ryan. One thing Ryan Bowen says, you know, like you've got X amount of losses till you get to where you want to be, and it's a good way of looking at it. It's not always easy to look at it that way, but yeah, it's just another loss, another couple of losses. I managed to get one win against Tom Demkowski, which is all I needed. Just got to stay one ahead of that dude.
Yeah, he's a bad man. I love Tommy. I love Tommy D. Now, Matt, do you believe what Tim's saying? Do you believe him?
Yeah, that sting of losing, and I sort of felt that maybe 2 weeks ago with Taryn being there. Yeah, it sort of hurt more than it should have. And I know it was just a training session, but I always sort of forget that everyone in the club is improving at the same time. So that's why I made that video that some weeks you're the hammer, some weeks you're the nail, because, you know, you might feel like Superman one week, like you're doing awesome. And then the next week, you're literally getting beaten by everyone that you beat the week before. And it's like, what happened? Why is this happening? So there's a lot of up and down, and especially in, you know, Ready Goes, where you can lose in a second and you don't learn anything from it. And it's just like, I don't know how I lost. Like, how did this happen in terms of like because it's so quick, you know, it's go bang, you've lost. And it's like, where did I make the mistake? It can be difficult. And that sort of moment of reflection of like, you know, you get that depression, and it's like you've got to come back up from that and realize that you need to lose a million times before you'll be anything in arm wrestling. It's the losses that make you better.
Oh, absolutely. Now, before we wrap it up, I've got to ask, I'll start with you, Tim. Have you seen Over the Top?
I certainly have. I watched it in the first probably 4 months of beginning arm wrestling.
Good man. Good man. When people like you do your homework, you go to the top of the class. Matt, have you seen Over the Top?
I have, and it seems to be the first thing that anyone brings up whenever I tell them I do arm wrestling, and they always bring up the scene with Stallone in the truck where he's doing that thing.
Yeah,
you know, the training moment where he's got the stack of weight in the truck. It's always, and the hat backwards and the toothpick is the key elements to the movie.
People probably bring it up because it's the greatest movie in the world that you've just participated in. So I don't know why you're complaining that people have brought. Sorry.
It won an Oscar.
But how did he train left arm if it was on this side?
And then Paul left, I don't think. I think
on the other side of the road.
I reckon it was an only right arm.
The South Australian Titans, the SA Titans, are doing magnificent things. Hit them up on all their social medias. They're making consistent videos, training videos, competitive videos. They've really jumped the gun in order to build their club up. I've got Matt, who's running all the social media side of things. I've got Tim, the stalwart that has been there. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on the chat. Make sure you constantly plug all your channels because you guys are doing great things. I've been able to have a proper chat with you, Matt, which has been fantastic. Tim, we've met a couple of times briefly, but always love having a chat with anyone that is passionate in the arm wrestling world. Guys, thanks for coming on the live stream.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Look at that. Stay around, flex for a bit. I'm getting Gabe on there, Ethan, Vitali, Abe, whoever else. Let me draw on my map. Whoever is from the Gold Coast, let's fire up back to where the Over the Top is going to be. Let's go. See, I got to draw on my fix your audio and fix your video up. Gabe, anyone else? Ethan was in there, but he has disappeared. We are now heading we've gone from the South Australian Titans, as you can see on the map, and we are heading up north. The Aussie arm wrestler is traveling all over the country. Look at this. This is magnificent. How is your audio and video, Gabe? I am not hearing you at all, young fella, so you cannot blame the Aussie arm wrestler for you not having any audio. Ethan Patterson, you were in the waiting room. If you can jump back in, Let's have a go. Guys in the chat, let me know who was more entertaining. Was it the Victorian crew or the South Australian crew so far on the live stream? Josh Barker, I will be getting Mario on very shortly. Sydney are coming after the Gold Coast. And at the moment, the Gold Coast are really struggling to get something going. Fatali, Abe,
Let me know
Ethan.
who was more entertaining. Was it?
Oh, hang on. No, I've got no video.
Hello,
but I've
can
got
you hear me?
sound. No, what have you done? Ask to unmute. What have you done, Gabe?
What have I done?
All right, we've got some sound, mate. We have got some sound. Now we just need to get that fantastic face of yours on the stream. Guys, while Gabe is sorting this out, first of all, I will go on record and think Ryan Bowen will beat RVJ. Let me know in the comments who you think will win that one. That's one of the biggest matches in Australian arm wrestling. Also, when you get a chance, head
Hello,
over to
can you hear
the
me?
Arm Wrestler, subscribe, do all the things from there. Everything is happening so much, and I really appreciate you guys sticking it out in the live stream. We've got 2 more states after this get through. Sydney are up next, and then I'm heading all the way over to Perth. But thank you to Victoria, and thank you to South Australia for jumping on the live stream. Gabriel runs a fantastic club up at the Gold Coast, but at the moment, he doesn't even know how to work his iPhone. I've got video, Gabe. Have I got sound or A?
How do I get audio?
So you sound
Damn
like
it.
you're talking underwater. Gabe, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
There we go. A little bit of a delay, but he's fantastic. Guys, I've got a very fantastic person on the show. He is hanging out. Oh, Ethan has jumped in. We'll get him as well. Fantastic. So what people don't know, as we get on the map in Australian arm wrestling, I have headed up north to the top to one of the fastest growing arm wrestling clubs in the world. It is the Gold Coast Powerhouse Arm Wrestling Club. They are doing amazing things at the moment, and someone that is behind the ship helping steering is my man Gabriel. He is the fish and chips of the arm wrestling world. Gabe, welcome to the live stream.
Good to be here, mate. I've just got to throw it in there that all 4 of us, we do a lot of hard work together. It's a team effort.
Oh, absolutely. So the 4 of you, and correct me if I'm wrong. So it's Fatali, it's Abe,
Yep.
it's yourself and Ethan that's jumped on.
Yep.
Beautiful. Now, the Gold Coast Club, before I let Gabe tell us about the Gold Coast Club, what they have, they actually have a world record. This Gold Coast Club have a world record, and that is thanks to Abe. Because Abe, I reckon, in a world record 147 times, cheered for Fatali during his super match with Ryan Bowen.
He is the best hype man you'll ever meet.
He is fantastic. Gabe, tell us, what is happening at the Gold Coast Powerhouse Arm Wrestling Club?
Well, we've got an awesome competition coming up on the 27th. Huge super series with main event being Marcus Atiri and Big Henry, who was on the stream earlier. That's going to be awesome. And then a series of other events, of other matches as well. So it's going to go off. Bringing arm wrestling to the people, basically.
You guys have been fantastic. Ethan keeps popping in and out. Come on, Ethan. Fix it up there. So how this club is fresh. This club is exciting. How did it all come about?
Well, basically, Ethan and I, we just started doing a little bit of training after COVID lockdown, and we'd both stumbled across arm wrestling online, like watching Devin Laratt and all those sort of things. And we started training just by ourselves a little bit, like freedom rules. And after that, we started reaching out to clubs that were around that we had to figure it out, like the Brisbane club. But nobody was doing anything because of Corona. And And then, long story short, we caught up with Fatali. He hosted a little session at his place. A handful of guys showed up. And so Ethan and I went up there, and that's where we met Abe as well. And we basically just decided to start our own club after that. Things started moving really quickly. Oh, what's going on? Is Ethan in?
He's just chopping in and out. Don't worry about him. We'll ignore him. We'll hopefully he can sort it out.
I can hear you now, Connor.
You hear us now?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Hang tight. Don't move, Ethan. Pretend you're frozen at the moment so you don't stuff it up. But I want to hear more about this. So you've just started a club. How many pullers are at the Gold Coast Powerhouse Club?
35, isn't it? Around 35.
You know, I've honestly lost count. No. Okay. Take it away, Ethan.
How many have we got? Okay, guys, for those that don't know, the latecomer that's joining, this is Ethan Patterson. Ethan is that powerful. He needs 2 E's in his first name, but unfortunately, he has copped a pin to the Aussie arm wrestler, and that's only because he left the state titles early, and I got a forfeit because he had to go and do more important things. But he is also a great help in the fastest growing arm wrestling club in Australia. Ethan, welcome to the live stream. Tell me, how many people are coming into this fantastic club?
A lot. Our current members, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Gabe, I think we're at 35.
It's 35. Something around 35 now, a little bit more maybe.
Yeah.
You've got to understand.
And regular, they're all regular. They just keep coming back.
Yeah.
It is madness. I've been watching, speak to Gabe quite frequently. I've been always keeping an eye on it. Guys, what you've got to understand, you might sit there and go 35 is not that many, but Gabe, tell us how long your club's been going for.
We started in, was it June or July? We started from basically just the 4 of us in the park. Yeah, more or less. And from there, it's just gone off. We had, pullers coming down from Brisbane as well that were sort of, didn't have anywhere to train. So that helped us grow. But then just being out in the open, a lot of people have seen what we were doing. And like Phil was mentioning on the stream with Devon, we set up around the Gold Coast in different crowded areas and turn ahead. That's sort of our strategy.
Oh, these guys are out in the beautiful sun of Gold Coast. Ethan, let me know, whose decision was it to pull in the park and let everyone know what you guys are doing?
That was probably a group decision. We thought, what more of a better way, because Burleigh is where we decided to do it. It's just packed on a weekend. There's just thousands of foot traffic. And the having it on the footpath in the park there was just a perfect idea. It was, like Gabe said, it was a head turner. We had people coming over trying. We even had girls. The first people to ask to actually see what we were doing were actually women, and they had a go at it and they loved it.
Man, you guys kick it old school like Bunnings. You even have sausage sizzles at your event. I cannot wait to get up there and spend the day with the Powerhouse Club. Now, you've got a big event headlined by Henry and Marcus. How many matches? What is going on at this event? Obviously, it's not just one match with 2 big juggernauts. What's happening at this event?
So it's pretty much a super match event. I think we got 6 super matches and
12.
12 super matches. Yeah. 12 super matches, and Marcus and Henry are one of the 2 bigger ones.
What's the, Gabe, I'll start with you. What is, besides the main event, we all sit there in the main event and go bang, what is a match that you see on the card? First of all, what is the match that you see on the card and you go, I'm absolutely frothing to watch that? And 2, do you have a match on the card?
I do. But the one I'd probably be frothing to see, other than the Henry Marcus match, there's so many good ones. We sat down and put our heads together for the matchmaking to make it sort of as exciting as possible. It's interesting because when you start to learn who's good at this, who's good at that, who's up and coming, who's, you know, like they always say, like different styles make matches. So we put a lot of thought into that. I'm thinking an interesting one for me is going to be young Rodian, and he's playing up against Tane, who's the new puller.
Yeah, I saw both of them pull at the state titles. Yeah, that'd be a good match. But
difference in weight and size, but Tane's sort of, he's the bigger of the two, up and coming, developing quick. But Rodian is really quick. He's a really sneaky puller. He's a bit of a gun. So that's sort of a little sort of David versus Goliath thing we have. That's going to be an interesting outcome, I think. See how it goes.
Beautiful. So then you said you do have a super match yourself.
I do, yeah. I'm versing a gentleman called Marcus Chapman. He's an elusive guy. I think he's been on the scene for a little while, but I'm not sure how much he trains on the table. I've gripped up with him a couple of times just in random training session, and he's a really strong guy. But I crossed paths with him in the Queensland tournament that you were doing a great job of emceeing, by the way. And I got him in the tournament, but I think he'll be a really good guy to match up in a super match. So that's why we worked that out.
So what's the super match basis out of? Is it a best of 5, best of 3? What's the setup for the super matches?
They're best of 5s. We're following sort of loosely WAL rules. So more with an emphasis on entertainment. We've got Tom Muglacia. He's going to be the ref, and a few other guys as well. So we'll have legit ref. It's just going to go off. We're planning on lifting the roof of that place. You've seen the venue before; it's at the same place. So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, similar setup to what you emceed at. Just our stage, our banner, but exact same setup.
Killer. It's a killer venue, guys. I was very lucky enough to see the state titles. It's a killer venue now. Ethan, same question to you. 1, what is the one match on the card besides the main event that you are gagging to see? And 2, have you got a super match yourself?
Yes, 1, I'm with Gabe because this is actually going to be a very interesting match because whilst there is a massive weight difference, Tane hits, his nickname's a tomahawk, and like that's what it feels like when he hits, like super fast, super strong. But Rhodey also, he hits super fast, but he's a very smart arm wrestler, so it's going to be interesting to see how those two collide against each other.
So what's your pick, Ethan? What is your pick?
Honestly, I think it'll be a close match, but I think Tane is going to take it.
Gabe, who's winning? Who's winning this David versus Goliath?
I've got to back Rudy in now. He's been asking me questions about Tane for weeks. So
no, don't give him anything.
I've got to back young Rudy.
It'll be close. For sure, I reckon it would be a close match, but I think Tane will come out on top.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And Ethan, you said you're going to match yourself?
Yes. I have a match against Ryan Parisi.
Ooh.
I don't know too much about him. I've only put at him once, but that was my first table session ever.
So
he actually, yeah, but he has since then put on a lot of size, so that's going to be really cool to see.
So what are you weighing in at?
I'm a crisp 82 kilos.
82 kilos. How much would you weigh if you only had one E in your first name?
Probably, I'd be in the 50s for sure.
Yeah, thought so. Thought that was bringing some extra.
High 50s.
Beautiful. So crisp 82 kilos. Fantastic. There's some big super matches. So where can everyone check out this event? This is super exciting, this event.
Wattle Hotel, Coomera. But are you meaning, are we live streaming this event?
Yeah, each and other. So if you're in the Gold Coast area or Upper Coomera area, get to the Water Hotel. It's a fantastic venue. They have some ridiculous Palmers as well. Me and Tom Glacier had some fancy Palmer when I was up there. The food's great. The venue's great. The people are great. But if you're not, are we able to watch it live stream?
As far as I know, I'm pretty sure we are looking at a live stream event as well. It'd be silly not to.
Absolutely. We are, as I've mentioned a number of times during this stream, we're gagging for competition. And I'm glad that the Gold Coast is able to. So, Gabe, besides Henry, do you have any other interstate pullers coming up?
Well, unless you want a surprise match, we don't.
Oh.
But we have a few that are coming to watch. But it's a secret. I can't tell you.
Oh, interesting.
I'll give you a clue. They're in the chat right now.
Oh, I know exactly who it is. No, exactly. I've nailed it. No, exactly who it is. And of course, anyone would pin me. Who's hosting the event up there?
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a
our event.
Super match event.
Yeah, but like who's emceeing the event? Who's hosting the event?
Some Aussie arm wrestler guy.
Ah, cut it out. The cat's out of the bag. We haven't told too many people, but I wanted the Gold Coast to come up there. Hopefully, guys, with this stupid COVID garbage that's going on, I've been working closely with the Gold Coast Arm Wrestling Club. I will hopefully be up there, not this weekend, but next weekend, hanging out with the Gold Coast Powerhouse Arm Wrestling Club. Hopefully be on the microphone and have a laugh and a joke with them because I absolutely miss them from December. Should be a fun event, and I'm always happy to pull and pin everyone in a surprise super match. If any garbage pullers want to have a go, that's not a problem, but I'm just looking forward to getting up there and pulling an event. You know, you thought Devon and Phil's announcement was huge. This is even better. The Aussie Arm Wrestler is coming up to Queensland in about 10 days. Very excited for that, as long as there's no bloody COVID and things like that. So that's very exciting. I'm absolutely gagging to get up there. It's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to the main event. And of course, with you two coming on, I'm absolutely looking forward to watching everyone pull. I want to see how many people have made an improvement from just as little as 2 months ago in December, the last time I was up there, and just hanging out. So looking forward to getting up there. Guys, when do you guys train? When's the training situation happening?
So we host club training.
When do you guys
Tuesday,
train?
Thursday and Saturday. So 3 times a week up at Coomera. And then usually monthly we look at doing whoever wants to do super matches. So you've got usually a month to organize your match, and we'll put it on the day. And usually it's at like Burleigh, somewhere where the public can see it.
Man, that is fantastic. Very rarely do you hear of a club training 3 times a week and monthly super matches. Guys, you really need to check out this Powerhouse Gold Coast Club. They're making noise. Now, Gabe, you and I speak quite a lot, and you know I have nothing but good things to say. But as true as I'm sitting here, this club is doing some fantastic things. They have a world record holder in A that just sat there and called Fatali's name 647 times during a super match. That video was fantastic. But they are doing some amazing things. How does that go, Gabe? So Ethan's just mentioned, I'm blown away. I did not know that you guys train 3 times a week. That's unreal. That is a club I can get behind. Coming from a basketball and AFL background, training 2 or 3 times a week, magnificent. How does that go with participation? How does that go with numbers? How does that go with energy?
It's good. It's usually pretty much a full turnout, especially Saturday. Saturday, they're our biggest one. Are we flashing?
You're both buddy talking. That's all
yes,
right.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's fine. Gabe, you mentioned as well.
Yeah. So as Ethan was saying, basically we have it on Saturdays. That's our main session. And then we have sort of like some satellite sessions during the week. So the main sessions on Saturdays, we get pretty big turnouts. And just people rock up. Like even Sam Safuri sometimes comes to our sessions, and I tell you what, like the first time he arrived at our session, he was in shock, the poor guy, because we were so close to where he is, and he's like, I didn't realize there's so many arm wrestlers here. What's going on? And yeah, I'm not sure if you've ever met Sam Safuri or seen him, but yeah, he's quite a character.
I've never met him. I've seen him pull. That guy is an Australian legend. He's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
guys, I'm going to get the Sydney guys in a moment, but first of all, I cannot wait. Let's just cross our fingers and toes and balls and make sure that Victoria do not stuff it up so I can get up there and watch an amazing event that is happening, guys. These guys train 3 times a week. Really, Gold Coast Powerhouse Arm Wrestling Club. This is amazing. There's not many words I can use to describe it. They are the fastest growing club in Australia. They're in one of the best states in Australia. It's beautiful up there in the Gold Coast. They host great events, as you can see, with Gabe and Ethan. They're great people. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the stream.
Thanks for having us, man.
Before you go, 2 questions. I'll ask you both. I'll start with you, Ethan. Before you leave, hold your jocks. Ethan, first question. What is the score in your super match?
Oh, that's going to be close because like I said, the only time I pulled him was when I first started, and from what I felt good. I had pretty much 0 experience. I've feel like I've come a long way now, and so is he. So I feel like it's going to be an interesting match. I feel like it'll be a close match.
That's a long-winded answer to say nothing. I need a score. Best of 5, Ethan. What's happening? Best of 5.
Oh, I'm going to 5-0 the poor guy.
Ah, bang! That's what I wanted. None of this, he's a really nice guy, and I think he's cute, and I hope we go out to the movies. No, I want to hear it. Ethan, bang! 5-0. Second of all, Ethan, do not let me down here. Do not let me down.
Oh, let's hope not.
Have you seen Over the Top?
No, but I
shut up! Shut up! You are batting.
It's Google won't let me watch it.
Comes out and he says he's winning 5-0. He gets the Aussie arm wrestler all jacked up, and you haven't seen it.
Well, ask Gabe that question too.
You got to stay in your lane, Ethan. I'm worried about you. You got 2 E's. You come in strong, and then just at the end, like a half a hand job, you let me down. You let me down. No, well, you've got some homework to do before I come up here. No, Ethan, man, it's great to just actually have a chat because I know you had to leave the state titles early. So
no, I actually never entered on the right because I had a tear in my brachialis, but I just paid the fee for both so I could get a shirt.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah.
Still pinned ya. Technically. All right, Gabe. So Ethan's gone out. He started off strong and said he's winning 5-0 and then let me down. But what's the outcome of your super match best of 5? Oh, no, he's pretending.
I'm going for 5-0. I've got to back myself. That's all you can do.
Yeah, well, what's the score?
Has it? Hold on.
What's the score, Gabe?
5-0.
5-0. Bang. That's what we want. Excellent, Gabe.
5-0.
This next question determines whether the Aussie arm wrestler is coming up to Queensland. Have you seen Over the Top?
Just fucking say yes.
Have you seen Over the Top?
Yeah, it was a great movie. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was excellent in it. I really enjoyed it.
Babe,
I didn't see it yet, mate.
Plans. Excellent. We're not going. I've never heard of the Powerhouse Club ever. You guys have got some homework to do. No, that's awesome, guys. Really appreciate it. I can't wait to get up there. I am going to bring a DVD with me. No points for guessing which one it is. Let me know in the comments if you have seen Over the Top. These guys have got the fastest growing arm wrestling club. Follow everything. They are very active on social media. Follow them to the hills. They're very entertaining as well. And they are fantastic people as I try and get a couple more in. Ethan and Gabe, thank you so much for jumping in the live chat. Really appreciate you taking out the time and supporting Australian arm wrestling. And do not forget the drive that you two, Fatali, and everyone, Abe and everyone up there in the Gold Coast are doing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Hopefully I'll see you guys in 10 days.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, it's going to be good.
We'll see you soon.
Watch the movie.
And when I pick you up from the airport, I'm going to bring a microphone.
Pin you straight away.
Beautiful. Mario and Peter, I'm trying to get you guys jumped in. Turn your videos on.
How do I do that?
Peter has jumped in. So, hey, Peter, before Gabe and Ethan leave, Gabe's gone.
Yo.
Before they go, I'm creating a quick super match here. Peter, you versus Ethan, best of 5. What's the score?
Wait, is that you? You came up to Queensland, didn't you? Yeah, no, you'd straight up take me, I reckon.
Yeah, 5-0, bro.
on the right, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Now, you guys discussed that. You're not going to believe it. The Aussie arm wrestlers run out of beers. I'm just going to go to the fridge.
All right, I'm out.
See you, boys.
Jimmy's have you had, Mario?
I'm working on one right. Oh, it's not a Jimmy. Oh, wait. There you
Is
go.
that a
It's
UDL?
an American honey.
UDL, yeah, nice.
All right, shut up. It's all about me. I'm back. No, beautiful. Now, thank you, everyone from the Gold Coast.
How do I turn this off?
You've got to really understand what is Gabe doing. He's turned off his videos, turned off his sound. Let's just whack him back in the waiting room. Look at this. Let me get my texter. I've probably thrown it because people are saying.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Once again,
good.
You look like a 13-year-old bullied teenager that's tried to grow the neck beard that's severely overweight and gaming. So there's the Aussie arm wrestler. He is traveling from the Gold Coast. He is coming down to Sydney. Let me write it in there. We've got to check the map. Look at that. So I've gone from the powerhouse. I am down here in Sydney.
You're missing an R.
I'll bring that up. Hang on a minute. Guys, we've got the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. Everyone that still is in the comments, you've got no idea. If you keep the comment section going and get as many eyes on this stream, what happens then is creates more money for the AAF. Therefore, they can have more events with more cash prizes. It's not a bit of a cash grab, but that's what happens. That's why I'm always asking you to comment all the time in there. Now, we are at Sydney. We've got 2 people here from the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. As I open up a fresh beer, fun fact that no one noticed, I actually spilled half a beer on my leg earlier, getting a bit excited. We have 2 people here that I have grown very fond for. These 2 people saw live the Aussie arm wrestler win the trophy. This is true. This isn't made up. These 2 people were at the event. Pete has got very similar. Thanks for making it not about me, mate. So we'll talk to you second. So everyone wants to talk about this man. Back in 1984, he decided to get with his brother and headbutt bricks to save a princess from.
Oh, here we go.
Now, if you look closely, he is wearing one of the most beautiful shirts in the world. Look at that. He's wearing the Aussie arm wrestler shirt. Guys, it is Super Mario Tambakis. Mario, you've been on the podcast before. Welcome to the stream.
Thanks for having me again.
Mate, I am absolutely loving it. Let me know in the comments, can any of you think that you can pin Mario? That he is.
Oh, they can try.
They can try. First of all, you are looking absolutely sexy in the arm wrestler shirt.
Thank you.
What is going on?
In general, or we're talking about the Sydney club or training for me personally? Any in particular? Any
Mario,
subject?
I've asked you an open-ended question. You talk about it. This is how, but you've been on the show before, and this is how you wear my shirt and things like that. What is going on personally with you? Let's start with the training. You are one of the up and coming smokies. Even Devon mentioned you in.
Super excited when he said my name. Not going to lie, he remembers me, which is quite cool.
I was super excited when he blew me off about coming on the show.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
That's all right, man. I don't mind. Devon is Devon, and he is the number one man. I always love that guy. But what is happening in the world of Super Mario?
Well, look, it's just lots of training. Just lots and lots and lots of hours putting into training, specifically arm wrestling.
Why? What are you after?
Oh, look, my principle is, I believe, the more hours you put into something, the better you get at it. Same thing with arm wrestling and training for it.
But where does this want to go? So you speak to anyone that's in Australia, and you even have Devon mention you. Nice segue to blow me off. But you are getting recognised on a relatively world stage without pulling on a world stage.
Yeah.
What's the goal?
Well, first of all, try to dominate Australia. Hopefully, at one stage, number one overall in Australia. That's what I want. Yeah, that's a domestic goal.
There's nothing wrong with that. But do you have a time frame? Where do you sit yourself in the top 10?
Oh, right now, I'm probably number 5. Like Bowen's list that he put out recently is, in my opinion, quite accurate. So I believe number 5. I reckon I have Bowen at the moment. A lot of people can back me up too on this. What they felt recently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, this is fantastic. And joining Super Mario is basically his Luigi, this babyface assassin. He's doing some good things outside. Well, it's still in the world of arm wrestling, but it's to do with designing programs for beginners and amateurs. He's helping me out. We're working together. I would absolutely attempt to pronounce your last name, but I don't think anyone can, and it's against the law if you can. But welcome, my man, Peter, from the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. Peter, how are you?
Hello, I'm well. Thank you for having me on.
Always, mate, always. And for the record, how do you pronounce your last name?
There's 2 ways. So Vase Chasco is how your layman would say it, or if you want to say it the European way, you go Vice Hutchko.
Peter it is. Peter it is. Welcome, Peter. That's cool. Peter W. No, that is fantastic. How is everything going at the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club, Pete?
It's going well, man. We've actually had a recent boom of people coming to the club. I think we had like 40-something members when maybe like a couple years ago, we struggled to get a dozen, 10, 12.
Absolutely.
I think COVID's just had everyone want to come out and give it a shot, from watching like Devin Larratt videos and Larry Wheels videos and everything like that. So yeah, we've had like a massive boom recently. It's really good.
Guys, you got to understand with the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club, not only have they had a boom, but they are growing that much. They have to stick an extra R when they're bringing the power. It's a double R. You got to anytime you get the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club, it's bring the power. And the first time I saw it, I thought these guys have done a typo, but no, their business is booming that they have to chuck an extra R to make room for everyone. Mario, whose decision was it for the extra R?
Do I just give him up? Nah, we have each other's backs. It was me. I put the extra R's in.
Are you taking the bullet for someone?
Nope.
It was you.
Yep.
Man. Anyone that's in the chat, let me know what you think of the double R in power.
Oh, it's triple R's now because there's more members. So
this
we need more R's, mate.
No, I actually seen a photo from the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club last Wednesday night. It was sent to me, and man,
was it the walkthrough?
Saw a walkthrough, but Marcus, who usually trains in Melbourne with us, but he has to travel a lot for.
Oh yes, yeah.
He was there and sent some footage. Man, thank you, Ham Sandwich, for saying doing some awesome work. I am loving what is happening there at the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. So if I were to get involved in the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club, who is the guy that I speak to?
Oh, well, you basically can talk to any of us, really.
So how many of you guys, I shouldn't say use because it's not a word. How many of you are there together? I know there's Oz, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight.
Yeah, there's Oz. There's a core group, of course, within the club. And I'd say there's about 10 of us. Core members, let's say 4+ years experience or 3 to 4+ years experience and know what they're doing, So if anyone new needs some guiding, they can hit us up anywhere, really. Realistically, just on the Facebook page. We answer immediately.
Oh, beautiful. So whereabouts is training and when is it?
So it's every Wednesday night at 8:30. Sometimes Sunday as well at different locations. But basically every Wednesday, 8:30 at Oz's place. That is in North Rocks.
So how far is North Rocks from Sydney?
It's basically central for Western, Northern, Southern, and Eastern. So it's actually a really good spot. That's why we've got probably so many members and so many consistent members as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, Pete, you've come across the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. You are doing some great things. Do you think many people from Sydney will attend this fantastic announcement of the over-the-top competition that is happening?
I know a few are coming, and we're looking to make waves. So we've got a couple of good lightweights, me included, who honestly could probably just wipe out the competition.
Yeah.
And then we have another heavyweight who's coming, who's quite strong for how long he's been in the sport. So I think he can make some waves.
What's his name?
Peter Andari.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Did Peter come up to Queensland?
He sure did, yeah.
Oh, I know Peter. Yep. Big dude. Very big dude. Very big dude. Now, how does that? Why I want to direct this more at you, Pete, because you sit there and Phil comes on and he's speaking with Devon, and we've got a fantastic announcement, and I'm frothing at it. But when I first met you, you pulled in the under 80 kilos. Then when you decided to bulk up and you pulled in the under 95s, I think you're sitting at a strong 85, 86. Numbers might be a bit wrong, but you put on weight from there. How does that feel for someone like you that really wants to have a crack at 10 grand Australian? How does that feel for someone in the lighter divisions? Do you enter? Do you write it off and go, you know what, that's too much for me?
I wish I had a better answer for you, but honestly, it'll probably be a matter of just going for the social aspect and just pulling everyone.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Now, Mario, now you talk about you're the top 5 in Australia. You're the Jim Beam drinking,
yeah,
Hooper destroying puller.
Unofficially sponsored by Jim Beam.
But I tell you what, the way you are rocking that Aussie Arm Wrestler shirt, if I made money, I would definitely sponsor you. How do you feel? Because you would be someone that could put on weight and you are lifting ridiculous amounts of weight. How do you feel someone like yourself to go up there and pull in that event?
Oh, look, it depends on the seating. If they do it via weight, I think I probably have the best chance sitting at about 100, 105 kilo if they set it by weight. Just purely because of where it depends on where everyone sits at that time too. But I genuinely believe I would have the best shot around that weight. But so does Ryan Bowen, for example. He's sitting around my weight now as well. Can't think of anyone else at the moment. Oh, Andy, if he's training for that specific tournament, he's going to be dangerous.
Oh,
He already is. He already is.
You and Andy annoy me so much. So much. And
why?
Why? Oh, well, I'm glad you asked.
Just feel the love.
Because when you guys both came to Melbourne, Tommy D come, you both had super matches, and anyone would half a brain go, let's team up Tommy D and Sean, and then we'll put Andy and Mario together. And your bromance stood up, and I think you're finger locking holding hands when you came in to the facility and things like that.
Maybe.
Poor Pete was playing third wheel like a little sister, and you didn't even pull each other.
We did. Hey, listen, we actually did pull, believe it or not. But that was the day before, behind closed doors.
Yeah, rubbish.
Actually, yeah. You were there, Peter.
Didn't want to do
you
it
were there.
I wasn't behind closed doors. Everyone.
That is what I am dying to see is you versus Andy. Let me know in the comments who wins that match, Andy versus Mario. I know I've asked before, but I need it all. I need
That's
you
a good
guys
match.
to keep hitting the comments and hitting the algorithm and things like that.
Yeah.
Andy, I believe I wasn't listening, said he'd smoke you 7-0 in a best of 5. I believe.
Perfect. winner buys the slab.
And that's how it goes. So you feel, I love that you're feeling confident. So you've come in, and we'll get to the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club in a minute, but you've come in and you're very well talked about in this, Mario, in the Australian arm wrestling world. You feel confident about the over the top. 2019, you placed at Arnold's. What's the official goal? Like you said, domestically, you want to be number 1 in Australia, but what?
Yeah, you talk about end goal.
End goal when we're all sitting there in our rocking chairs in the Aussie Arm Wrestlers popping Viagra, going ready, bang. we're all swapping stories. What is it? What is it?
I don't know. I'd like to leave some form of legacy behind. I'd like to be talked about through years and years. I want to be the man for at least a period of time. Yeah, that's my long-term end goal of all goals.
So is it a hammer? Is it Zloty? Is it top 8?
It's everything. I want to be the top of my game at every single league. It seems unachievable, especially in this current climate. But I'm young. I think over time it's going to happen.
That's the thing. Everyone I keep getting on the show super young. Mario, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, of course you're 24 because Andy's 24 and we're
but I am.
And we do things like that. And we kiss all the time, but we don't tell Celine. Oh, that's fantastic. Guys, come up with different answers. No, that's awesome. I love seeing people so strong in the sport and so young. Pete, you're a babyface assassin. 2 things are going to happen. You're either going to tell me you're young or you're going to tell me you're Benjamin Button. How old are you?
I'm 23, my friend.
20. Oh, finally, a different answer. Different answer. I might have to fob off Mario. So, Pete, you're taking a couple of avenues. You're pulling, you're feeling good, and I want to talk about my table IQ in a moment. But what is the goal? What is Pete doing?
So competitively, oh man, it's just number 1, 80 kilos, Australia left and right.
Number 1. That's a Tim Gadsby class. That's a Sam Burnett. That's a Taron Broad class. It's good, mate. I got nothing wrong with you pretending you're in Jurassic Park and going for the big ones. I love it. And I'm glad that people are coming into the sport and they're like, oh, I just want to compete. I'm glad that you are wanting to be top dog. How is the training going at the moment?
Honestly, now I'm just worried about making weight for South Australia. So, I can't do a lot of volume because you want to be as fresh as possible in the day. And, the comp is only 2 days away. And, I have to drink water it's the only thing I can have. I can have meat. I can have cheese.
What you need to do is watch how Mario punishes Jim Beam, and if you can drink water like that, sit in a sauna and you'll be there for days. So before, obviously, it's all about promoting Sydney Arm Wrestling Club at the moment, but You are doing something fantastic called My Table IQ. Tell everyone about My Table IQ.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so actually it started from my partner asking me like what I would want to do if I didn't have to work. And I said, oh, I'd probably want to make arm wrestling content. And then I thought, oh, I could just do that. So I got the name Table IQ. My website's tableiq.net, shameless plug. And end goal of that is, so my vision is to make it a repository of arm wrestling wisdom for beginners and intermediate pullers, maybe eventually elite pullers once I make the elite category. And yeah, make videos, programs, tips, tricks, technique, everything.
So what made you go that way? You wanted to make content, but why programs?
Yeah, so I guess it follows the rationale of, you can teach, you can give someone a fish or you can teach them how to fish. And basically I want to teach everyone how to fish and make their own programs and be able to progress, properly, because arm wrestling is not a figured out sport by any means. I think there's a lot of potential, a lot of stuff you can still learn, a lot of techniques you can make, a lot of different, avenues. And yeah, my idea is just to put down on paper or, type down on a screen everything that I've learned and will continue to learn, so that, if someone just getting to the sport can go to this site and see, oh, okay, there's all these things I can just read and learn and put into practice and watch videos.
Please check it out, guys. My Table IQ. I have to shamelessly plug this because I've met Pete a couple of times and we just hit it off. So I'm absolutely a big fan of what Pete does, and we keep in contact. Mazachenko, whatever, a V, a W, whatever you want to pronounce it. Pronounce his last name with an R. I do not care.
That's good.
All you got to do is just head over to My Table IQ. I will get all the arm wrestling clubs and anyone else that's promoting anything. And I'll chuck it in the comments when the live stream is done and going out into the world of YouTube. I think that is fantastic. Now, the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club that brings the power.
Yes, that's it. You said it perfectly.
So, Mario, it appears you are the alpha male at the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. Two questions I've got to ask.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a nickname? So there's the House of Pain, and we've got the Gold Coast Powerhouse, and we've got the South Australian Titans. Is it the Sydney Slip and Sliders? Do you guys have a nickname?
I thought of the Sydney Slippers, but didn't go down too well.
The Sydney Cinderellas?
We had something, and it was pretty... it was messed up. I just can't remember it.
Well, lucky for you... I am putting it out there to everyone in the comment. This is an official competition. If you want to name the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club, stick it in the comments. Unfortunately, if you do swear or do anything, YouTube won't post it. But you officially get to name the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club right now. Everyone that is still watching, which I absolutely love that you have stuck with me for 2.5 hours. You officially get to name the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. Do it now. Call them the Sydney Ready Bangs.
Yes, officially.
Call them the Sydney Aussie Arm Wrestlers. Trademark pending. You guys will owe me money. Call them the Sydney Cinderellas. I know everyone else from the rest of the country doesn't take Sydney seriously, so that's okay. Call them the Sydney not sorries, but sorries, whatever. You guys get to name them. Southwest Arm Wrestler. Here they all come. Southwest Arm Wrestler says the Sydney Lions. Oh, the Lions.
Oh, that's just cute.
Slammers. Named after. Oh, pound for pound, say the Sydney Cyclists. Keep those going. The SAC Pullers. It is all happening. I want them all coming. I will read them all out while you are doing there. The Sydney Armed Force. I love it. Second question I want to ask you, Mario. Who is someone that is really standing out at the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club? Who is really standing out? You're just like, bang, I'm on, let's go.
I can't just say one person. I can't.
Well,
I genuinely can't.
Name some top dogs.
Well, look, we've got David Bergoff, also known as Big Sexy. We've got We've got Lachlan Carpenter, also known as Shekel King. And we've got Tom Domkowski. I mean, he just annihilated States at Queensland the other week. So that was pretty good of him. And
the other week, 8 weeks ago.
It feels like the other week. Who else? Adam's improved a lot. I mean, his form is just unbelievable. And his timing, execution, hits. Yeah, he's just leveled up basically.
Now, I'll tell you, besides the shirt that you're wearing, I'll tell you what is also unbelievable. I think we have a winner.
Oh, really? Here we go.
We have a winner of the name, and this person has hit me right in the fields. Let me go through some honourable mentions. There was the Sydney Lions, the Sydney Slammers, the Sydney Cyclists, the SAC Pullers, the Sydney Armed Force, Lockie just going bang with the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club, and the Sydney Jimmy, the Mr. Myrtle with the Sydney Strikers. But Zigger06, you win. You have won the competition. You are officially called the Cindy Crawfords. Bang! Nailed it. You guys are probably too young, but Cindy Crawford was like a model before like porn took over the internet and things like that. She was hot. And Zigger06, I'm glad you've got the Z in there because I love everyone. Didn't want to get banned off YouTube, but you have named the Arm Wrestling Club.
I like that.
Pete, have you got anyone else from Mario's list? Have you got anyone else that you sit there and go, yeah, you're looking solid, sign up to Table IQ?
Oh, actually, honorable mention before Pete goes, Josh Barker. Oh, mate. He goes toe-to-toe with me and Adam, and he's a 70-kilo puller. It's unbelievable.
Got my first taste of the Josh Barker at 2019 Nationals. I believe
Yep, he won it.
Either placed or come top 4.
No, he won it. He won gold, right-handed.
I probably went home by then. I know he did awesome on one hand and thereabouts on the other. So Josh Barker.
It would be left was thereabouts right. Yeah, placed gold. Really well done.
That's how you do it. Josh Barker, fantastic to you. Yeah. He's been very active in the comments, so shout out to Josh Barker. Unfortunately, I think his keyboard is broken because it just constantly says Mario. I don't know if every word...
I just macroed that in for him. He's got no choice.
Sorry, Pete from My Table IQ. Go and sign up now because I've cut him off way too many times not to give him more shameless plugs because that's what I'm all about. Pete, who are the up-and-comers? Who are the forces to be reckoned with at the Sydney Crawford Arm Wrestling Clubs?
Yep, so to extend on Mario's list, we've got Harrison Rosewarne, who actually went to Nationals, I think 2019 as well.
Yes.
Under 90 kilos.
I saw Harrison pull at the state comp. Don't remember him at Nationals because it was a bit busy that year. But, bang, Harrison was very, very impressive at the state titles in Queensland.
Yeah, he did well. And another lightweight, I want to say Jacob Shugelski, who's one of the people chasing me actually at the club.
Is that another made-up name? Do you pronounce it like 4 different ways like yourself?
Probably, but I say it the way I say it.
Beautiful. Anyone else, my man? Anyone else?
I'm probably going to upset some people, but I think that's going to be it for now.
That's right. You guys have got 40 people you're training on a Wednesday night. Same here in Melbourne. What's it going to take, guys? What's it going to take for the Cindy Crawfords to be the #1 arm wrestling club? I mean, there's only so many times you can add in bringing the power, but I'll start with you, Pete. What is it going to take for you guys to believe that Sydney, because we're all in it for fun and we all love each other, but we pretend to compete, to be the #1 arm wrestling club in Australia?
That's a loaded question, Jake, because I don't think we have to do anything. I think we are the +1 club in Australia.
Yeah.
Just gets the Gatling gun out like Jesse Ventura. Hey, they're already the #1 arm wrestling club. Fantastic. Touching on female competitors, because we really need that for the sport to grow. What does that look like, Pete, at at the Sydney Power arm wrestling?
I think it's going to be a matter of putting on comps. You know, it's kind of like a chicken or the egg situation. Like if there aren't competitions to work towards, then are you going to find female competitors who want to compete? Or, you know, do you have competitors and then you put on a competition? So I'm not sure. It's been very slow. We have women in and out very, you know, occasionally. Some of the partners are some people at the club. They'll put their hand on the table every now and then. But no, for Sydney, it's been a very slow process, unfortunately, you know, compared to South Australia and the like. So, yeah, it's definitely something to work on.
Do you have any females at the club currently?
I think we have a couple of very fresh female novices.
Sorry, I thought my internet broke. Josh Barker has just commented something else but Mario. Holy moly, he's just come out and said last week we had 4 girls. Magnificent. That is awesome. Ham Sandwich has just jumped on and said Mario needs a Samoan wife to cook him a nice chop suey and taro to become number 1. You guys in the comments.
That's amazing.
You guys in the comments are fantastic. So are there... And first of all, everyone that's in the comments, if you get a chance, subscribe to the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation channel. If you get a chance, head over to the Aussie Arm Wrestler YouTube channel. I'm very lucky to interview the best in the world. Absolutely love it. Do some crazy commentary and things like that. But most importantly, follow every single club that is on here. All their social media. Cannot brag about that enough. So then we go from there. What is there? Because Mario had a super match set up with Brett. Check out the archives on the Aussie Arm Wrestler. And then literally I posted it 2 hours later. Mario messaged me and went, the match is off.
Yeah, it's rough. COVID.
Oh, COVID. Do you guys have any comps coming up? Do you guys have any super matches coming up? Do you, besides you guys traveling interstate, do you have anything at the Sydney Power Arm Wrestling Club super matches? Do you guys want any super matches? Talk to me. I'll start with you, Mario.
Yeah, we have like challenges every week. So if a guy just wants to challenge someone, say someone better or someone like lower than them in terms of skill level, we just host them. So usually 3 rounds, keep it short and sweet so we can start training. And we usually put up, you know, videos. So every 2 or 3 weeks, you'll see a video pop up on the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club YouTube channel of them versing.
Beautiful. Has there been any awesome matches? Like if I go like Sydney Arm Wrestling Club with 7 R's, you know,
yes, don't forget.
Is there like, have you got anything on there recently that's like there's one match that you just look at and it's like, bang, I've got to watch that one first?
Oh, nothing comes to mind. I haven't really been going to the club recently, just work and other commitments. But Pete could probably answer that because he's consistently there every bloody week.
Oh, I'll get to Pete, and Pete can tell me he's doing fantastic. Oz Texas, Oz TXS says amateur comp late March, bro.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, shut up, Mario. You missed that, Pete. I've just found out there's an amateur comp late March, bro. What's happening?
Yeah, so we're still working out the details as far as which venue, but yeah, we're pretty hard set on having a competition next month for all the newbies.
Yeah, fantastic. So how many newbies do you guys have at the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club?
Oh, it's probably about half the club. What do you think, Mario?
Yeah, I'd better say about half too. But what do you classify as a newbie? Like, is it just started, as in like a month in, or we're talking like 4 months in? Because we have a lot of people that are about 4 or 5 months.
Under 12 months.
Oh, yeah. Then half the club.
So then 2 guys that are very experienced, and I'll start with you, Pete, first. 2 guys that are very experienced in arm wrestling. How does it go if, like you're saying, half of the arm wrestling club are 12 months and under? And for 2 guys like yourself, without being disrespectful, you power through them with only 3 R's. You don't need 7. So then how does that go with your training every Wednesday night, knowing that the majority of people you get to jump on the table with may be beneath?
Yeah, well, I think training with people stronger and weaker than you have their separate benefits, because someone weaker than you can, I mean, you can kind of have your way, but you can also kind of use them, probably not the best wording, but use them as kind of like a lift. Like you can work your pronation, whereas someone stronger than you, if you were to do that, they would just absolutely block you, and then all your training is just, this static position. So yeah, you could say someone weaker than you, you can train dynamically, and someone stronger than you can train statically.
Now, before I get you your answer, Mario, Brock Lewis, Bobby Wrigley, you guys keep coming in and out of the waiting room. I will head over to Western Australia very soon. Please stick around. You guys have been very, very patient. Mario, I mean, your top 5 in Australia, none of them appear to be from Sydney. You're the only one from Sydney that's in top 5. You're the only one from Sydney that can compete at Zloty whilst winning a hammer and long-arming a Jimmy.
Yeah, one day.
So how do you go, Pete? Obviously, with my table IQ, he knows a way to use people not as good at him to benefit him. How do you go? I know. Let's pretend you have we'll go back 6 or 7 months when you guys were firing and you were there on a regular basis. How does that go for someone like you?
Well, I try to deplete myself before training, so I'll train basically arms, chest, shoulders prior to going to training. And then from there, I can work my positions at a better rate. And that's what I feel.
You try and come in 40% and then try and get some pins.
Yeah. Still smashes everyone.
And still smashes everyone. There's nothing wrong with that. So far, I've found out we got a few in Melbourne when Brett Coots turns up, Andy turns up, Andrew Manfrey. They will pin anyone and everyone. Where else did we head? We headed to South Australia, and the Tyrannosaurus broad over there is just
strong boy.
Claws, very strong. Now we've headed to the Gold Coast Club. They didn't really say anyone was dominating, but their club is dominating, so they get the pin. And now when we head down to Sydney, it is Super Mario in that sexy shirt. Head over to @Aussie Armwrestling. Guys, you got to get the best shirt in the business. And Mario is the one dominating there. Guys, before I get the guys who probably still have sunlight over there in Western Australia, what is the future for the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club? And Peter, I'll start with you. What is the thing? Is your goal to have the strongest at the club? Is your goal to have 100 people at the club? What's a good vision? What's a good vision that you see for the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club in order to officially be the number 1 in Australia?
Okay. I think having more competitive interstate poolers. So if we can turn those novices into, legit arm wrestlers who can place at most interstate comps, then I'd say, just increase the average pedigree of the club and we'd be number 1 easy.
Oh, easy.
We are already, but
easy. How many S's in easy? Because I know you. No, I absolutely love it. Mario, same question, man. What is it? What is it? Do you need to have the top pooler in Australia? Do you need to have the most numbers? What's going to make? Because I love the background. What's going to happen for Sydney to be number 1?
Pete nailed it straight on the head. Honestly, we just need more competitive arm wrestlers within the club, as in willing to travel, willing to put themselves out there. They just get better. It's just a natural progression. It's just the way it works.
Absolutely, and that's the hard thing, because Pete was saying he's going to travel to South Australia, and my money, all of you people that jumped in from Adelaide, wait till my man Peter Vozchenko, Vintachenko, when my man gets over there from cutting weight, he will dominate over there. I'm very happy with that. And I'm glad you are going, Peter. You are one of the stalwarts that do travel a lot, because we both met in Melbourne, and then the next time we caught up was in Queensland, and you live in the middle of the country. So for those that don't know, let me get back to my mat. I met Peter and Mario here. I next caught up with Peter and Mario up here. They both live here. It's a big map. Big map. Thank you to my wife for printing this out. She's a primary school teacher, so thank you for the map. That is really good. Guys, once again, not only the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club, careful how many R's you put in, but please follow the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club. Also follow these two guys, whether it's My Table IQ. He just did a good article on every state, the top pullers from the state. Did forget to put the Aussie arm wrestler in there. He had to do a readjustment, but that's okay. We're not calling my man here. But he's given me a program that I've been sticking to at the gym, and he's very knowledgeable at what he does. So not only that, so follow My Table IQ when you can. Pete, send me all the details, and I'll chuck it in the comments. Mario, I think everyone, especially Josh Barker, is excited for what you are bringing to the table. It was awesome, even though it was a segue to get off me, but it was awesome to hear Devon bring up your name. Could have brought up anyone's name, so for him to bring up your name.
It's mega.
What you are doing, you are heading in the right direction. I'm about to bring on Western Australia from there, but all right, Phil Gillespie, I am bringing on the West Coast. Calm down. Phil, if you are weak, I will take you on in a super match. But if you are strong, I apologise for yelling at you. Mario and Pete, I speak to you both on a regular basis, and I am huge fans of what you guys do. Consider you guys very good friends of mine. Thank you so much for taking the time out and coming on this live stream.
Thank you for hosting, man. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And Mario, that shirt is sexy. Pete, we'll talk.
Thanks, man.
As the gyms are open, I'll be going back to doing the program. But yeah, guys, actually, don't leave. I forgot to ask you the number one question.
Yes, we watch Over the Top.
Pete?
Yeah, why do you think I have this on backwards?
I thought so. But you're 23, so I got a bit worried. You look more like Michael Cutler, the kid in the movie. But you both have watched it. Gentlemen, you know how much I love you both. So thank you so much for jumping on the stream and also being very active in the comments. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to have another drink with you guys in person.
Yeah, see you soon, Jake.
Love you guys. Yeah, now, you thought the live stream was over, but we have gone back in time. And for those that don't know, let me get the Aussie Arm Wrestlers map out, because we have gone from the Power Club with 17 R's. That was fantastic. Thank you to everyone else. And we are heading over to Western Australia. We're calling them WA. And why I say we're going back in time. So let me show you the map. We have gone from here and we are heading over to the other side of the country. But where I am and where you can see my guests are 3 hours behind. So I may need to talk slow for Western Australia. No, they are brilliant. I tell you what, Western Australia, if I'm being honest, aren't the most active on social medias and things like that. But I tell you what, they have some amazing pullers, some absolute amazing pullers. I'm trying to get Bobby to turn on his video. But at the moment, we have Brock Lewis on the show. Brock, first of all, I've got to let everyone know, one of my very, very early supporters of the Aussie Arm Wrestler was Brock Lewis. Brock chimed in very early, and he has been nothing but 100% supporter of the Aussie Arm Wrestler. So when I was saying that we've got to get people from Western Australia on, I really wanted Brock to come on. Brock! And you're wearing a Steve Austin shirt, and everyone knows how much I love wrestling. What?
I did it for you. That's for you, Jake.
Oh, man. Absolutely love it. I'm so excited that you've come on. Brock, how are you?
Yeah. Oh, it's Bob.
That's right. We'll get to Bob the Builder in a minute. We're talking to you, Brock Lewis.
Yeah. I'm good, thanks. Just training hard. Getting that weekly arm wrestling in. Not doing much else. I mean, I work the night, so I'm pretty tired most days. So I should be going to bed soon. So
Yeah, mention that. For those that don't know, we really need to appreciate Brock coming on the live stream. He's been basically in the waiting room or hanging around in the chat since we started. But Brock literally set an alarm doing night shift. He went and had a nap to wake up to come on the live stream. So Brock, I really appreciate what you're doing for the Australian arm wrestling scene, because Brock is a prolific sharer. He watches just about every single podcast that is going on, shares it, comments. He's very heavily involved. Brock, what is happening? What is happening in Western Australia? What is happening on the arm wrestling scene?
Oh, Perth is actually split a lot. There's a lot of clubs all over the place. There used to be one quite big club, 30, 40 people. There used to be training down south and used to be everybody there, but now it's split and we've got about 4 clubs going now. So we're starting a new club. Me, Concrete Ben Carroll, Bobby, you know Bob, obviously. Yeah. Kyle Howarth, Steve Drennan. So it's a iron club. Club on north with Luke Ramponi, the Armory. They got a few good boys coming out there. Daniel Pervin, he goes and trains with them. He gets around a lot. He's also training with Jamie Carl. And then we got down south, obviously, Hands of Steel with Ryan Scott and Hamish and Harrison. So it's quite scattered, but we all try to get together now and then for a sesh. Ryan's just had a new shed put up down south, so I really need to go down and see him and see how that's going. He's got a new training facility.
Mate, you have just given me an arm wrestling orgasm. I don't know where to start. So I'm asking everyone in the comments who is the best state at the moment. Trying to get the comments flowing. Where do I start? Luke Ramponi, Jamie Carl, Bobby that's in the chat with us.
You would have met Daniel as well, right? Daniel Pervin.
Daniel Pervin. Absolutely, man. That's what I mean. That's why Western Australia need to really just up their YouTube game, because if there was like a teams event, Western Australia can just come in. I mean, they'll be 3 hours late, but that's okay. They will come in and do some absolute damage. It's so good that you've got 4 clubs. You were saying 4 clubs going on?
Yeah, it's about 4 clubs. There's some random little scattered ones as well. There's a lot of new guys who just kind of train with each other and friends and stuff like that. But these are the main boys, most of the OGs, the original guys. There's, I'd say about 4. Just the rest are just a couple of guys who also come to our trainings now and then, but a lot of the time they train just by themselves. But we got a lot of guys. I mean, we still got about 30, 40 strong. The women's, like you were saying earlier, the women's one's a bit tough. We've definitely gone back and now for one. Which is disappointing.
I think the Western Australia have a different problem with women pullers than the rest of the club, because if you look at Bobby Wrigley and you look at Daniel Pervin, Jamie Carl and things like that, everyone in Western Australia that pulls is handsome. I wouldn't want to be sending my wife to Western Australia. No way. Look at you all good-looking cats in shape, looking good. Damn. Things like that. So it's it's fantastic. Now, one thing I really want to chat before, actually, let me introduce Bobby first, because I'm actually a big fan of Bobby's. Bobby, he is one sexy man. He is a sexy arm wrestler, very prolific in what he does, places wherever he goes. I first saw Bobby pull it
where he goes
in 2019. Did very well on a national level. He's got the sleeve of doom. He just looks the goods. Bad on the table. Bobby, welcome to the live stream. How are you, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
It would be better if you pulled over, but that's okay. Hopefully someone else is driving the car. Western Australia probably drive on the other side of the road. Yeah. Oh, hello, Mrs. Wrigley. Who's that? Who's that with you?
Oh, this is the missus.
Hello. Hello, Mrs. Wrigley. How are you?
Yeah, she's good. I've got my headphones in, so she can't hear. It's probably for the best.
But Bobby's also been a big fan of what's happening here with the Aussie Arm Wrestlers. So I always appreciate Brock and Dan what you've been doing. Bobby, what is happening with you? You're not when you are on social media, it's just about your fantastic life. Everything seems to be going well. You got your beautiful missus there. What is in the future for Bobby when it comes to arm wrestling? Because you are dominant on the table, just about there with the best in the business. What's happening?
My aims are first the 80 kilo class, wipe that one out. Then I want my Arnold's gold this time.
Beautiful. So what are you weighing in now?
I'm around 87 kilos roughly. Oh, shit.
Wow, so you're going to drop.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I was just more like 87 kilos and you want to be an 80 kilo champion. That is unbelievable. Have you, Bobby, personally, have you got any super matches? Have you got anything coming up?
At the moment, nothing really, because there's no competitions in WA, and yeah, I'm just hoping
scared because we're scared
or something comes up.
Well, I'm putting I'm putting it on you, Brock. Sort this out. Give us some competition. Now, the main question before we start really getting into Western Australia arm wrestling. Been a lot of talk on the internet. Been a lot of talk about who is the number one super heavyweight in Australia. Now, the rest of Australia, we all watch all different arm wrestling channels and different names get thrown about. But you guys officially have the number one arm wrestler, super heavyweight in your state, in the Milkman, Ryan Scott. That guy is a bad man. And a really good guy as well. I've been lucky enough to mix it up with Ryan a few times. Ryan Scott, if you're in the chat or doing anything, just want to say g'day. You're a top guy. He officially is the number one super heavyweight. How do you guys go? And I'll start with you, Brock. How do you guys go hearing all the, I wouldn't call it chitter-chatter, but the discussions about the top heavyweights in Australia, and sometimes Ryan's name doesn't get mentioned. Brock, how does that make you feel being a Western Australian man?
There's not much to talk about. We know what's what. Ryan and Ben are the top two, and it's basically where it finishes. Those guys are animals, beasts, like super strong. I mean, look at Ben did at his Lottie tour, like fifth, and now he's developed a good press, which he didn't really have before. Plus, he was quite. He still had a lot of holes in his game. I feel he's come a long way. Plus, his strength has doubled. Like I trying to catch him, I always feel him getting away. And same with Ryan. Every time I lock up with him, he seems like he's increased tenfold again. So I'd love to see those two pull each other as well, just because stylistically they're really good, like opposites and super strong guys. Just I'd love to see it. I can't wait till the competitions will open up so we can quiet some mouths. Let the arm wrestling do the talking. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned Ben Carroll. You know, he's one name that just, you know, sometimes when I'm vacuuming my lounge room and I lift up the rug, you know, that's where I see Ben Carroll. His name just really, he's one bad dude. He's one bad dude. And
to quote Neil Pickup, he's the guy, if you find him in bed with your missus, you tuck him in and say goodnight. Yeah, I love that one. Hey, that's a good one.
And how does that go with you, Bobby? So basically, when I think of Western Australia, I saw all you guys at 2019 Arnold. So I think Bobby Wrigley, Jamie Carl, Brendan McKenzie, and Ryan Scott. So you know they're the four guys when I think Western Australia early on. They're the four guys I think of. So how do you feel when everyone, like Brock was saying? And I was saying as well that people just don't mention as often Ryan and Ben's name.
I don't know. I just think it's like they always say, you can never hear ducks fighting long grass, can you? So, yeah, basically, like, if we all know in WA what's going to happen when they finally meet. So, yeah, whatever.
Oh, all right.
Them to a different level.
Really?
Yeah, next level.
That's what I find interesting, because we don't see enough of them on the social medias. Obviously,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
they go down a notch because we're not seeing them, especially those two, participate in the lifts and seeing them training and pulling people. Is there a reason? I'll start with you, Bobby. Is there a reason why? Like Ryan and Ben aren't that active on the social medias and the YouTubes, or are they active and we're just not seeing it?
I just think they're just not that type of people. You just have to be that sort of person, don't you, really, to be social media? And I think they're just too busy being strong and doing their thing, really.
Oh, yes.
Just those two dudes are two
And
dudes.
if
You go, Bob. You go, Bob.
Yeah. Understand. They're just a different league of power.
Nah, you're breaking up a bit there, Bobby. But I am. It's really interesting when you talk to people from the homegrown state. You guys, without doubt, it's not about pride or anything. You both have just gone bang. Ryan and Ben, number 1 and 2 in Australia. Yeah. It's quite interesting. So then, Brock, I've got first of all Harley RA. I don't know if you know him. He's saying Brock should be the co-host, which is something I definitely won't turn down. And then a good, interesting comment. I'll start with you, Brock. So arguably, you have come out and said you both have the number 1 and 2 super heavyweights in Australia. So if the Milkman takes on Concrete Ben Carroll in a best of 5, who is the strongest?
Best of 5, I'd go.
I should say who's the strongest. Who is the number 1 arm wrestler in the super heavyweight division between Ben and Ryan?
Like, if it was for endurance, I feel like Ben. I feel like maybe Ryan's a bit quick on the first couple, but if Ben stops it and it comes and falls into a press, I think it's his the win. I think it's I hate to say that, Ryan, and I don't no disrespect to Ryan, he's an amazing arm wrestler.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, I see Ben as after Zloty, I find it hard for anyone to be kind of level with him at the moment, and people seem to think everyone stops training, but everybody's still training. Everyone's training hard. Ben trains harder than everyone. That dude trains like a beast.
Yeah.
Only other person I can say that's on par with him would be Kyle for training. Kyle Howard, little Kyle, well, huge Kyle, but
yeah, the pocket rocket.
Machine.
Bobby, who wins, Milkman or Ryan Scott? That's the same person. Ben Carroll and Milkman.
I think it would be 3-2 either way. I'd probably have to go Ben from last time, what I felt, but it's a close one. 2 different styles, but both really strong. Like, I don't know. It's a hard one.
Oh man.
It's the match to make in Australia. That's the main match. If you want your number 1, that's the one. That's what everybody should be talking about. That should be
then
I feel like one for me. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but
you guys have a perfect opportunity. I'm happy to get Ryan Scott and Ben Carroll on the show, whether with the AAF or the Aussie Arm Wrestler channel. So then how do we get this match to happen? I don't know the logistics of both people. I only go off the map of Australia, which the Aussie Arm Wrestler has just travelled around. Brock, where's the living distance? How can we get this match to happen? How can we get the Milkman to take on Ben Carroll in a super match? Why isn't it happening? They're both in the same state. They both can see each other, probably even kiss each other on the mouth. Why isn't this match happening?
Well, Ben works away. Ryan's down south. And there's the 2 dudes that just don't talk probably to each other, plus don't do social media. You probably have to get a cattle prod and really get them to go to each other and have a match. Like, I don't think they have any interest in pulling each other. I think Ben always thinks internationally, or big, he's thinking big time. I think Ryan's thinking the same thing. I'm not sure where Ryan's head at. I haven't spoken to him in a while. But yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. We try our best to get them together, but I suppose they have to want it. And I mean, it's really up to them. We have words about it, so they say, but yeah, you can't really push people too much, I suppose, because I think Ryan's old school. You push him a bit, you probably push back. Yeah.
Let him push back. Let him push back to the table and take on the best. I've seen Ryan pull a couple of times in person, and that guy is phenomenal. The milkman just delivers. That's why he's called the milkman. Strong, absolutely strong. Absolutely strong. It's a shame. Right, that's your two, Brock, Bobby, your homework. Either get them both to get in contact with me or let's make this match happen. Let's make it happen. That's your homework. Don't do anything else in life. I know, Brock, you've got two lovely kids and a lovely missus and you work very hard, but scrap that. Scrap that. Make this match happen. Absolutely happen. Bobby, with everything that is happening in Western Australia, are the numbers growing in Western Australia? Are they plateauing? What's happening in the Western Australian arm wrestling scene? Because out of all the states, as I've mentioned before, it's almost the forgotten state. But you guys, if you are in the know, you guys have so much talent. I rate Western Australia. But what's going on? How are we going to project it? If we go to Rob Vidgen Jr. space exit, how are we going to do that?
Sorry, this is the truck. I don't really know what the answer would be to that. It always seems to be growing, but there's a lot of people that get into it, and a lot of people over time just lose interest. So I don't know. And we did have quite a good female team going, but I don't know what's happened to like Claire and Haley.
Yeah, Claire was a runner-up nationalist. Claire Packer, she was fantastic. I remember Claire pulling at nationals in 2019.
She's been training harder than ever. I've seen her training a lot.
Yeah, she's working out, but the arm wrestling, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that
for a while.
It's a shame. She was an absolute bee's dick from pinning Vicky. It was unbelievable. So then one name I want to bring up is the Kamana Bananarama selling the drama. Rick Kamana, what is going on with him? He's very, very heavily involved. He's been around the world arm wrestling. Does anyone know an update from Rick? He's a good guy.
Do you want this one, Bob?
I think he's
No, he's breaking up
for a while.
You're breaking up there, Bobby. You're breaking up at the moment, unfortunately. Brock, do you want to take this one? What's happening with my man Rick Kamana, Bananarama selling the drama?
He's been in arm wrestling for a while, 9 years or something like that, and he started a lot of the arm wrestling over here, and he's contributed a lot. I think he wanted to take time away. I think he had enough of doing the organising and always organising trainings and setting everything up for the new guys. I think he's taken a break, so I'm not sure what he's doing. He hasn't posted much. I haven't seen much.
No.
But he's I don't know what venture he's heading towards, but he's definitely stepped away from arm wrestling. Yeah.
What a shame. Rick Kamana, Bananarama, selling the drama. If you somehow get a catch of this footage, the Aussie arm wrestler wants to know what is happening with you. You are fantastic for the sport. So moving on, Western Australia, they've got these 4 clubs and they're all scattered. When you say scattered, how far away in distance are all these Western Australian arm wrestling clubs?
40 minutes to an hour, and then a couple of them, obviously, if you went top to bottom, you're looking at a few hours. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big drive. That's a big drive.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
I'll have to ask both of you. Now, I haven't brought it up much, but I need to bring it up because you guys are on the Ryan Scott sideline, and the way you speak very highly of him. Now, it was supposed to happen this month Ryan Scott was supposed to take on Lachlan Adair. It was announced, and I believe something happened and didn't happen. COVID, garbage, rubbish. So, Bobby, if hopefully your sound doesn't stuff up, if Lockie come over and pulled Ryan Scott in a best of 5, what's the score?
5-0.
To Lachlan?
No.
Trying to see if it's going to break it up. Honestly, saying Ryan is just that strong, that good. It's a 5-0.
Yeah, and I think he's that much bigger. Like his frame's bigger, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, he's 6'4" or something. How tall's Ryan?
Yeah, something like that. It must be. Yeah, I'm 6'2" and he's bigger than me. So yeah, I just think he's too big. He'd be over the top. He'd be over and done with. Like I can't see him being stopped even.
It's unbelievable, Brock. What's your call? Talk to me. Actually, before you answer, I'm actually starting to get a bit bothered with you, Brock, because you've come on the show. You've worn a Steve Austin shirt, which I was so excited, but I'm yet to see you smash 2 beers together and naked while giving me the double bird.
I think if I do it in here, I think my missus will kill me.
Oh yeah, we don't want a live stream killing. Okay, that's a pass. I like you, Brock. That is a pass. So then what happens there? Lockie comes over. He's looking strong. I see a lot of Lockie. Of course, I think he's looking strong and he's looking great.
Yes,
he's pulling Ryan Scott. Bobby's calling it 5-0. We've got people in the comment saying that Ryan's too quick. Brock Lewis, what's the go?
Ryan's big hand, long lever, super fast, like you said. I feel like Lachlan's got a good cup and super hooker. I'm not sure how his outside game is. He's obviously showed a lot with his lifts lately with the back pressure and everything like that. Ryan takes me out of my hook. Like he just rolls my hand out super because it's that high toe. I see it going. I reckon Ryan, what is the best of 5?
We'll go best of 5.
All right, best of 5. I'd say I'd go 3-2 or a 4-1 even. Just if Ryan tires up from hitting, because obviously explosiveness, it can take its toll. If he gets slowed down, it could be maybe a match. I haven't seen. But then saying that, last time Ryan could hook pretty well, and he never used to have such a solid hook. So he definitely developed his hook a lot since last time I arm wrestled him. Yeah. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see the match.
Oh, of course we're interested in seeing the match. I think at the moment we are interested in seeing any match. At the moment, I try and film myself holding hands with my wife only to just try and get her in a hook, but she absolutely puts the kibosh on that. That's how much we are all gagging for it, but that is fantastic. So is there, with the arm wrestling club, I'll start with you, Bobby, is there any social media things going on? Because the whole point of this arm wrestling AAF live stream is to promote every single club that we can, and I'm a huge fan of Western Australia. Do you guys have any social media things going on? Or if not, like, once again, reiterate when you guys train, where you guys train, give us the lowdown.
Let Brock do that one. He's more for this.
All right. So then, Brock, give it to us again. What is happening in Western Australia? Let everyone know where you guys are training, where they can get in contact with someone. So I've got a cousin that actually lives in Perth. He'll never be an arm wrestler, but if he knew someone that hated that the Sydney Arm Wrestling Club had too many R's in their name, who could they get in contact with there in Western Australia?
Steve Drennan runs the club out of Wattle Grove. We're starting a new club actually, West Coast Savages. It's going to be our club.
Yep.
We got Armory, which is Luke Ramponi. You can contact him. He's in Joondalup ways. Hands of Steel, obviously. Ryan Scott. You're better off contacting Hamish because you'll probably get more out of him than Ryan. He's not so much social media. So Hamish down in Bunbury for those who are down that way. Yeah, that'd basically be the main clubs you'd want to go to. The other ones are like just little clubs, little guys. But But otherwise, Armbet, man, let's go on the Armbet. That Devon Larratt app is top notch. It's helped us get a lot of guys.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Oh, that's good that Armbet is working for someone. Will you both come to the over the top competition at the end of the year? So clearly there might not really be a nationals. This will kind of be a substitute for nationals. Will I see Brock Lewis and will I see Bobby Wrigley in Queensland November over the top?
Yep.
100%. 100%.
I'm definitely
100%.
there.
Yes. Yes, I better see all those top pullers. Jamie Carr, Luke Ramponi, Kyle Howarth, Ryan Scott. The list goes on. Does Brendan McKenzie still have dreadlocks?
No. Disappointing.
Oh, his power is gone.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
Mate, Brendan's off the Christmas card list. He's a week pulling out. But I tell you, the Western Australian team all need to get together. What I really would like for the Western Australian clubs, especially with this new club that you got going, Brock. Really excited. You've seen how the powerhouse in Gold Coast is going. They are absolutely doing amazing things.
Killing it. Yeah, killing it.
Speak to Gabrielle Fish about really promoting it. But you guys need to hit the social medias. I will do my bit to help promote the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation channel will do their bit because you guys have 10, 15 amazing pullers that the world really needs to see, not just here in Australia. Now, before we wrap it up, I've got to ask, I'll start with you, Bobby. Have you seen Over the Top?
Of course I have.
Oh, thank you.
Who hasn't?
Well, the Gold Coast Arm Wrestling, Club. Ethan and Gabe.
Just kick him out.
They are two very. I can't even sit still. This is madness. Those two jumped on and openly just spat in my face, Bobby. You should have seen it. We haven't seen it. Who has?
Don't ever invite them back. Don't ever invite them people back.
Oh, I've literally texted my wife and said, get the Gold Coast off the Christmas card list, and it's only February. They are gone.
And rightfully so, definitely.
Now, Brock, mate, this is the final question of the night. You come in, you're a wrestling fan, you've got the Austin shirt on. You know I'm a huge fan of what you're doing. You have a lot in common with the Aussie arm wrestler. I'm so excited. But if you do not answer this question properly, it will almost be borderline.
The friendship. All right.
It will almost be borderline as if my wife left me. That's all I'm saying. Brock, have you seen Over the Top?
When November comes, $10,000 says I can tear your arm off.
Yeah, of course he's seen it. Of course he's seen it.
Of course, brother.
Loaded the movie. Guys, fantastic. Look, you guys waited so long, like 3 hours to jump in the chat. You both went out of your way to make an effort. Bobby, you were still working, and you've got the lovely...
He's in the middle of nowhere, too. He's in the middle of nowhere.
Driving you at the moment. We've lost him. He's gone. Brock, you've been doing night shift, looking after a beautiful family. Woke up from a nap to come have a chat on the channel. We'll be in touch about this new club. I want to promote as much on this channel, on my channel, anything I can do. So, Brock, I thank you so much for jumping on the live stream, and we actually got a chat face-to-face instead of text messaging.
Yeah, I appreciate
like
it.
We're 14-year-old girls. So you felt like a pen pal to me. So I'm very happy, and I'll definitely be chatting with you in the future. Guys, before Brock goes, absolutely Harley RA. Brock is a fun co-host. I'll definitely be in future talks with them. Brock from Western Australia, mate, on the map. That's the way it's gone. Is there one last thing you want to say before you jump off?
Yeah, well, going back to what you were just saying quickly, just a quick one to round it up. I'm planning on doing some vlogs and getting into the clubs and showing a bit more about Western Australia. I'll try to get some stuff with Ben and Bob and Kyle, and I'll try to go down and see Ryan and make some more social media stuff going so people can see what's happening this side of the planet.
Oh, and you've got to, guys, you've got to go over and really keep an eye on Western Australia. Yeah, they might not be on social media and things like that, but man, do they breed good pullers. And Brock, I really hope you take advantage of that, because you are basically sitting on a gold mine. You officially have the number one super heavyweight there. You have blokes that have placed in nationals and Arnold's over there. The list just goes on and on and on. You have some fantastic pulls over there. Brock, thank you so much for coming
thank you,
on,
Jake.
man. I can't wait to chat to you soon.
All right, take care.
Beautiful. You are the man. Guys, everyone that is still in the chat, it appears that 24 people are still watching as my man Brock jumps back into bed. I have traveled around the country. It has been amazing. Let's see how we go there. In the waiting room. That's how we go there. I have gone out of my way to travel around the country. The main thing about this had nothing to do with the Aussie Arm Wrestler. This had to do with promoting Australian Arm Wrestling Federation. I hope everyone has subscribed. I hope you have all been so excited about the announcement President Phil did with Devon Larratt. You've got to understand the noise that we are making. I just hope I will, when this goes onto YouTube properly, I just hope in the future that we can all get together and all subscribe. You know, if you've got a chance, it doesn't cost any money. Just subscribe to every single arm wrestling channel that's to do with Australia. Obviously, start with the Aussie Arm Wrestler first. Go over to all the social medias. Help each other out. I tell you what, get rid of this COVID stuff and Australia will be making some of the biggest noise. Not only that, but we didn't even get to talk to the three amigos that I will hopefully one day get on the podcast. Again, you know, Ryan Bowen, Lachlan Adair, Jordan Davis. Jordan has been absolutely fantastic in the live. We need to get Danny Tesh. I'm seeing Danny Tesh's name being in contact. He's unfortunately retired from the contest. But guys, I could honestly do another 15 hours of this live stream. You have no idea from the bottom of my heart that everyone has stuck around, hit the algorithm, started making heaps and heaps of comments. I am going to wrap up this live stream. It has been amazing. I have been the Aussie Arm Wrestler. I appreciate your support, every single person's support. Thank you to every single arm wrestling club that came onto the channel. A special shout out to my wife, Jess, who I love dearly. She has allowed me to sit here for 3.5 hours when we should be having dinner and a bit of cuddle time for ourselves. So a massive shout out to my beautiful wife. But every single one of you guys, I am going to sign off. I'm going to have a beautiful nap. Hit up the comments. Thank you so much. I'll be in contact with you all soon. After you subscribe here, last thing, head over to the Aussie Arm Wrestling channel. Hit the subscribe button there. Big things are happening there. Love you all, guys. And as always, ready, bang!